Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Kia, clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lies right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. Da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Lakeysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. Yeah. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha Keysha channel.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are going to get started. Make sure you guys are liking the video. We're going to bring our guests up in a moment, guys. Just give me a second here. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you are liking the video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and we're going to get this party started in a moment here. Welcome, King Cass. How you doing?
I'm terrific. How are you?
I am great. So I have your I do have your handles. I just didn't have your Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
You know, I am. I gotta check and see exactly what it is because I don't really post there a lot, you know.
Okay.
I'll have to see what that is.
But I do have I have your TikTok, I have your YouTube channel, and I have your Facebook. But I'm sorry, when I sent the text message, I don't know why I was meaning to say Instagram, but I'm gonna put a lot of my followers follow you too as well. So if you guys don't follow King Cass, I follow you mostly on Facebook. I just realized that. So I just found you on TikTok because I wasn't following you on TikTok. So I just found you on TikTok.
Okay.
And I know you are on Facebook. And then you told me about your YouTube channel, which, guys, I'm going to put in the chat for you all. So you can get his handles here. I'm going to put them in the chat. He also has a YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is King Cass 65. TikTok, I put it in the chat. And then his Facebook. But I know a lot of you guys do follow him already on, I believe maybe on Facebook, or I'm not sure. But yeah, I found you on TikTok because I hear you talking about TikTok, but I wasn't following you on TikTok. Yeah. But I did. I found you. So glad to have you. Glad that, we were able to chop it up, and kind of talk about this crazy situation as it relates to Carmelo Anthony case and all of the bull crap that's going on.
Yes.
Now there is an attorney. I just actually started following him. I will come across his stuff on TikTok, and I think you know who I'm talking about. I just found him. I can't even remember his name, but I quickly found him. Whatever his name is. What is his name? I don't even remember. Well, I should because I'm only following a few people on there. His name is Kevin Wheelos or something. But he posted, I want to show you what he posted on I think this was on TikTok. I thought this was really interesting. He posted this little chart here. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you, like, is it too small? Can you make out what it's saying?
I mean, I know the general drift. There's another excellent chart too that just shows the cross-pollination of all these characters.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That is exactly. And I thought this was really interesting. So he has, I have to look at it on my phone because that's kind of small. But he has obviously Megan and Jeff Metcalf up top. And then he has Greg Willis as the district attorney. And he's tying Greg Willis to the divorce. But I've heard a bunch of different stories. Some people have stated that it was his wife, but ultimately, I get what he's saying. You know, Greg Willis, his wife, same story.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
And then, well, here it is. It says the tie. Greg Willis is married. Okay, I got it. To Jill Willis. And it says the attorney who represented Jeff Metcalf. Okay, in the divorce from Megan. That's very interesting.
Right. And they only donated, I think they only donated $250 to Judge Roach's campaign. Whereas I think it was, I know the other day that Toby Shook donated $1,000. And, you know, he did not inform, to my knowledge, he didn't inform the family of this, nor did he inform the family of his prior long-running, since 2011, I believe, business relationship, law partnership with Bill 𝐟𝐸𝐵.
Which is the other prosecutor, right?
Yeah, the other prosecutor who was up on sexual abuse charges, sexual harassment charges. The other one.
Okay, Bill.
They both were. You know that, right?
You know what? You're right. I did hear both, but for some reason, I know when I first read up on it, I thought it was just one, but ultimately I found out later it was both. So Toby Shook has donated about, it doesn't matter what the amount was. I mean, you donated to the judge. That's very interesting. But
well, let me stay parked on that just for a second, because I don't want to give, I mean, there's so many more, not more important, but other things that are important. But I want to park on that for a second, because I noted in my video the other day, it's not unusual for attorneys to give money to judicial campaigns. I never played in that realm. I didn't give to anybody when I practiced back in the day. But a lot of times, you know, an attorney can give to judges who are like more progressive or liberal, if you will, and more conservative. It's not uncommon. But what you must do is take a look at the pattern as to who they're donating to, and then there should be informed consent on that. You know, that's the thing. Because I've made a federal judge recuse herself before, after I had a First Amendment case before Elijah B. McCafferty in New Hampshire. And the Republicans love to kick me out of their press conferences with Kelly Ayotte. Well, I go for an injunctive relief. I get denied. Then I come to find out that my opposing counsel, Jack Lane, or Jack, it was like Lane and McGrath anyway, but Jack was my opposing counsel, and Kelly Ayotte, the AG at the time, she worked under him, and also McCafferty worked under him also, like within a year of each other. So it's like the little boys club. So that she denied my injunction, but then later on when I busted her, she did the damage already. She gutted my case, but then she recused herself later, but the damage was done. Gotcha. So I say that just for the principle of understanding that these connections are important. So even though they were able to shaft me, she still had to back on it later, and I still have a copy of that retraction. Anyway, not retraction, but recusal. Yeah.
Right. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because I've noticed that generally, even the prosecutors, some of them are prosecutors and then they go to private practice, they will have some kind of affiliation. But I like how you said it's actually making it known, because if you make it known, then it's not hidden, right? But when you're not acknowledging it, and then people like us go and find it, it does look a little strange.
Yeah, it's the whole opaqueness of this case in general. We're going to touch on that when it comes to Judge Roach's order, which he didn't really uphold in certain ways, but it's all going to tie back to the opaqueness of this case that I've never seen. And I've shot murder trials before. I've shot video in 7 states, and I've never seen this level of opacity.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there are a lot of high-profile murder cases been on TV, telecast, contemporaneously televised in the overflow rooms. It's not a big deal.
Right. And it also lends itself to that where, the judge said, you know, we're not going to keep the cameras in the court, but I believe we all understand exactly why you didn't have the cameras in the court. I mean, you say you had 20 something seats, you know, that wasn't gonna, who could that accommodate? And then he says on his interview, well, if you really wanted to come, you could have came. How? With 20 seats? Like, you could have came, you would have been wasting your time. So
yeah, I was there 4 in the morning. It was too late.
right, right. So it's like when it's 20 seats, see, most people are just not going to waste their time because it's like, I mean, so you were, so I didn't, so I knew you were there, but you didn't get in. That's that, you never got in?
No.
Ah, I knew you were there. I thought you just didn't want to go in, but yeah, 20 something seats. I mean,
had I gone in and had I seen Mike Howard not object to those factual testimonies from lay people, children on murder and provocation, I would have found a way to get it to the family to fire him on the spot.
right.
We could talk about tactical issues of whether or not Carmelo took the stand, this, that, and the other, but that alone, I'd have found a way to get it to him. So you got to whack this guy.
Right, right. Now, do you think even if they would have fired him on the spot, I think the judge would have still moved forward? Is that like how does that work?
Well, that's a sticky situation. You know, it's possible that my feeling is that knowing this particular judge, he might have denied that. I mean, it almost never happens, but I have not had time to research in Texas how those movements actually play out, because it's very difficult at that time. But you just make the call, and if somebody were there to advise him and say, look, no, this is material stuff, man, he's doing damage to your case, material damage to your case,
Right.
then that's a whole body of law that becomes very interesting.
Right. You know, since you're bringing up Mike Howard, I think, after this, well, even during this case, the bloggers and everybody that were there, they were really reporting the same thing. And they were like, well, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like he's objecting to much. But people did give him the benefit of the doubt. They said, well, wait a minute, maybe he just has something that we just don't know about. Then all of a sudden, he rested the case. Now, I did, and I provided you that email. I actually forgot that I had sent him that email. But during the time that I had sent him that email, I thought it was really strange that he just pretty much, he didn't he didn't call up any of Carmelo's witnesses. And then they said they had different specialists, psychologists. And I'm just like, it really seems that this man intentionally set him up. Well,
Right.
one that I found, I want you to hear this, King Cass. I want you to hear this video. This is we kind of talked about the Not Guilty Boys. I had them over here, but I actually went over to their podcast. They were doing a live, and I joined because I had a simple question. And my question was, there was an article that Mike Howard spoke to TMZ. And in his article with TMZ, he basically said, well, we don't really know how Carmelo felt because he never took the stand. So TMZ asked him, well, did you tell him not to take the stand? And then Mike Howard says, well, I can't talk about that because that is attorney-client privilege. But I had already found out that he was the one that told him not to take the stand. So it further confirmed that this attorney did this on purpose. He definitely did this on purpose.
Yeah, and you have to know, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to hop around a little bit during this discussion. It's kind of organic, but in the process, I think we're going to cover pretty much everything we can right now. So let's go down that rabbit hole then now in terms of what Mike didn't do for a minute. Okay, so some of you may know I was a corporate attorney in Collin County. I lived in Collin County. Now, it was 25 years ago, but I still got a feel for the area, right? And I was junior corporate counsel for Metrocom and Ricochet Modem. What is that, you ask? It was America's first broadband, or not broadband, it was his first mobile wireless infrastructure. And we were only in several cities, maybe 6, 7 cities, maybe a few more. But essentially, now you can remember this is before broadband. So what you would do is you take this like modem about this size, stick it on your laptop, and then I worked out the infrastructure for the right-of-ways, right? With like Frisco City and this and that. So you could take your laptop to the beach. And our logo was like a barefoot and then a foot wearing dress shoes, right? So I worked out the deals. I'm not sure if I did Frisco specifically, but either me or my senior counsel did. You're gonna call me now, dude. Dude, I'm on live with Lakeysha. Go on YouTube and check me out, Lakeysha, live on YouTube. Okay. No, dude, I'm set up. What did I just tell you? I said I'm live right now. I can't talk. Go to YouTube to see Lakeysha. Okay. He's a lawyer too, good friend of mine. Some people don't want to listen. Anyway, so they had to bust up my train of thought. Okay, you got to act like you're in trial. Come right back to it. Okay, how quick? Synapse is open. Synapse is still open. Synapse is still wide open, dude. I thought I had it on let me make sure I'm on. There we go. It was on airport mode anyway. So Frisco, right? So see, came right back. So what? I would work out the right of ways, because then we put our equipment. So we get a right of way, and then we put the equipment on the various phone poles or whatever utilities, and that would make the network. So anyway, yeah. But I knew the climate. I could tell what kind of climate it was. I was doing all right there financially and making good money living there, but I could tell because my friend had a restaurant in Frisco, and I could get the vibe. It's just on downtown. We don't care if you're a lawyer. We don't care how much money you got. This is on downtown. Watch your step. So I think the only reason people live there is because of the sports. I mean, I wouldn't choose to live there if I were black. But that's just me. But so let's get back to Mike Howard. Okay, so let's start with the cops and the things that you just mentioned a minute ago. You said, hey, we were expecting to see all these things. And so I've been in these heated arguments with these Metcalfians for the past year, okay, mostly on Facebook. And they will come at you. There's hordes of them. And they follow you every keystroke. They're just on you. They usually have anonymous names because they're cowards, right?
Yeah.
You know who they are. Fact. So Studying Giraffe. I can't even think of all their names right now. Right. So Wildflower, this, that, and the other. So anyway, they would argue with me, and I said, look, the cops are going to be on trial as well, because that's how it works in a typical murder case. You examine the cops to see what they did, in terms of allowing these kids to congregate and no separation of witnesses from the beginning. Did you have tunnel vision on, Carmelo Anthony? But none of that was done, and so it boggles the mind. And so they're all busy laughing at me saying that's not going to happen. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, no, wait a minute. I've never tried a murder case, but I have tried other criminal cases and won them in front of jury. So I'm tell you, they're going to be under investigation, much like the fellow in New England that we're talking about too. We're going to weave into that in a second, right? So that situation there involving Michael Proctor is his name. Michael Proctor in Mass. Dirty cop. Very much so. Investigative practices that weren't legit. Bias in the investigation. Illegalities, things of that nature. Things showing bias and prejudice. I think we're going to find those mistakes here. We've already discussed some of them. But what happened to the items that were thrown in the trash can? If we could see that, how those two boys came down, threw stuff in the trash, how come they couldn't see it? How come Mike Howard couldn't see it? How does none of this come up? That's all exculpatory evidence. You see two guys come out of that tent and bustle over there and throw stuff in the trash. One of them is holding his belly, looks wounded. And he staggers over there and slips it in there. And then the other kid picks it up and runs away. Nobody saw this?
Nobody.
Right. I mean, come on now. I mean, this whole thing is coming back. It has to. And then let's develop a couple more things with the cops too. I had a note on my phone to bring up with you. So guys, and I want to make this absolutely clear. In my career of investigating these kinds of cases, this is my third major one involving homicide, at least. 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐞 Kenny, Bodie Miller's cousin in New England. That's a white kid. I went to the mat for him when he was shot by this guy who was with this cop. Long story. But if you search Circle of Stones plus King Cast, you'll see the website, and we've got a screenplay over that. All of it. He was a white kid who shot a very bad and dangerous cop. I sued to get the documents on that cop and video that they were hiding. Got it. stopped a roadway from being named after that cop twice with the local people up there in Franconia, New Hampshire, where I used to ski back in the day when I lived there. So it ain't about black or white. That's another thing too. If you say something they don't like, you're a racist.
Right.
I'm like, well, tell it to my white girlfriend. Tell it to a third of my family is white. Tell it to them, because I'm not having it.
Right.
Right?
You better. I don't explain that. If they think that I am, I just give them what they looking for. I don't give a damn what these folks think. I mean, because you will never be acceptable, and okay, they will make up something. So I give them everything they looking for. I don't give a damn.
Well, yeah, I want to flow with that, Lakeysha, because the thing is with them, with these Metcalfians, is they're relentless liars. We'll talk about Megan's lie and Jeff's lie in a few minutes, but they're relentless about it. And I just sued a couple of them for defamation because they knew darn well. I told them all along I could get my license back whenever I want it. It was suspended for a year, 20 years ago. And they kept, saying this and then the other. I said, you know what? When this case got near trial, and I've been thinking about coming back anyway. So case gets near trial, and I said, you know what, King? You better call the bar, get your stuff back. Right? So I did. Okay. Right. Yeah, right. So now they're hating it. They're like, he's not a journalist. He's not a lawyer. I'm like, well, I'm both of those things. Here's my byline from the Indianapolis Star 25 years ago or 30. What are you talking about?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So, so the tie-in though with these Metcalfians, okay, I hashtag it. They can't allow blacks to have anything. Or if you're white and disagree with them too, they don't want you to have anything. You're not allowed to be a lawyer. You're not allowed to be a journalist. You're not allowed to say anything that they disagree with. And then, and they will be vile and say vile things to you. Then if you turn around and say anything back to them that's even approximates their level of intensity, all of a sudden you're a problem. They're going to report you. And it's a numbers game because there's always going to be more of them than there are of us.
Right.
So they get your platform shut down. They get they get your posts stricken. They're evil people by and large. I'm going to say it. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So I want to play this video really quickly because we had spoken.
Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing, because I'm going to tie it in with the Anthony family. That's the part of the syllogism I left out. Mm-hmm. And so they will deride the Anthony family. Everybody should know they were doing just fine before they bumped into these before Carmelo bumped into these bullies. They had a nice rental, beautiful house. Kayla could stay at home, be a home mother. Megan couldn't do that, right? They had nicer cars. They been had an Escalade. Jube was a manager there at the car dealership. Carmelo had a Lexus. It wasn't brand new, but so what? What kid needs a brand new Lexus, right? It was a nice car. So all of these things, they can't let us have anything. Now back to your point. I'm sorry. They just
All right, I'm going to repost your link in the chat. They said it is not working. Let me make sure I got it right.
Okay,
guys, I'm going to repost it. Try the link that I just put in there. Maybe it got jumbled up with the other links because I was putting them all in there. Because it does work because I was on it. So try the link that I just posted in the chat. It should be www.youtube.com/@KingCast65. All right. So, because we were talking about Mike Howard, because I gave Mike Howard the benefit of the doubt, but now I know for certain that he did this intentionally. So I want to play this video because, I had spoke about him speaking to TMZ, but in speaking to TMZ, I really feel like he disparaged Carmelo because what he said was, you would think your lawyer would know your feelings about this case. He made it seem as if, well, I don't know if he's remorseful because he never testified. And then he says, well, yeah, I think he's remorseful, but I think he thought that he was defending himself. And I'm just like, what do you mean you think he thought he was defending himself? An attorney would say he was defending himself, but you say you think he thought he was defending himself?
Yeah, all of it. All of it.
Y'all go crazy. Crazy.
I got reliable information that, and Mike Howard, if he said that to TMZ, that it was up to Carmelo, and he tried to make it seem like as if Carmelo made that decision not to justify he's damn lying.
I spoke to the pastor. I know. I know.
Supposedly there were some messages some internet search that would have been damning to Karmelo if he testified. I don't care if he looked up how to use a knife. I don't care if there's any text messages there. We gonna put him on the stand. We gonna overcome all of that. How to use a knife ain't got nothing to do with whether or not he needs to defend himself April 2nd at that field. So as a thorough defense lawyer, I'm not worried about what the state is throwing at the wall, hoping it stick. I'm more concerned about putting my client on the stand so he could tell why he felt he was in fear, so these people can see his persona and see that he's a good kid, and so they could be leaning on him because he's a child that made a mistake. But Mike Howard, he's a joke. That's what I think about.
So basically, what attorney Michael Campbell was saying is that I guess Mike Howard told the Anthony family that it's not a good idea. Carmelo shouldn't take the stand because they have some kind of whatever information that was not even real. So basically he scared them and told them don't take the stand. Yeah. Now, but what he's telling TMZ, he did not come out and say, I didn't tell him to take the stand. But why are you saying we don't know how he feel because he never took the stand when you told him not to take the stand?
Yeah, right. And so along that wavelength too, and how we are projected. Let's go back to Fox 4, which everybody online who was around said that there was an original breaking news story where Hunter was interviewed and said that Carmelo snatched up a tool that they used to put the tents up and tried to use it after Austin had punched him in the head.
But it's gone now.
Yeah, right. So I don't want to go too far on that path. Let's keep back over here. So that's what I want to focus in on is how they project us in court. For example, Carmelo sat emotionless and did not look at the witnesses during their testimony. Okay. You know what they would have said? And I can say this because remember, I used to write for a daily. I know how they do this. All right. All right. What they would have said, if you looked at the witness, they would have said, Carmelo looks sullenly at the witnesses as if to intimidate them. You know, no matter what, they're gonna portray him a certain kind of way. Right. Like instead of saying Carmelo looked contemplative during their testimony and was taking notes, which is what he was doing, right? They say Carmelo sat expressionless. Make it make sense, right?
I thought in court they don't want you to give expressions. They literally want you to sit there and not do that. Is
exactly. Exactly. And Judge Roach had clearly said, any type of outburst of expression, we're going to do all this, that, and the other. But then come to find out later on that during the sentencing or this, and I think it was at the point, Jeff slammed his, one of those. And it just, he had these differing sets of rules. And I remember you weren't supposed to be able to wear trainers, right? And I get there and there's all these kind of white folks walking in the courthouse going there wearing trainers. Most of the black folks that were there, we were dressed sharp. But hey, I digress.
Right. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, right. Complexion for protection.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if
by the way, shout out to Not Guilty Boys too, because Mike and I are cool. We share information all the time. He shouts me out, I shout him out. I can't wait to actually meet those cats. Yeah.
Right. You know what? You remember I told you when we were talking on the phone, I said that I was following Mike and I did not know that was the same Mike because I was following him and I was like, dang, I want to have him coming on. But then once I realized, I said, because I didn't, it was the Not Guilty Boys and then it was Mike Campbell. But I was like, wait a minute, they literally are the same. I didn't realize. Yeah. You know what? I like them because I can see that they were extremely compassionate and really, really wanted to help. And I was like, I definitely want to have them on. But yes, they are sharp. I liked them.
Yeah. And also, he was the first one. It was he and I that did the most to break the cheerleader narrative, he put it out first, the email. And that morning he put it out and I was coming back I had just landed and I was back near in Seattle and I saw that and I said, wait a minute, this got to go up right now. So I went and did that video from the train station. I took the train in long story. I didn't park my car at the airport. So I took the train up back to where I live. So I stopped at the downtown junction and put that video up just as the train was ready to go. I said, I got to get this video up while I got high speed internet. And so, and that thing hit. That's the first time we met because you ran that video. And so that's how we first became acquainted with each other, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, because you mentioned the cheerleader, I thought that was a great segue because
it is. But can I just, with no offense to anybody else, because I've got to give. I mean, we love all the people that have come in, kind of not after the fact, but when I was on Facebook first, I didn't know the action was all over at TikTok. That's the research lab, is TikTok primarily. And so I want to give a shout out again. If I leave you out, don't be offended. But over the past year or so, like I got into that TikTok in like late October or so. So again, no offense to anybody if I leave you out. Tiffany, Dre Defense, Royal, TikTok Governor, 55, Sherrod, Huey, MF Queen, Ida Watkins, One Who, Love Black, Dwayne, all those guys been doing yeoman's work. So I'm that conduit that picks up some of my own and some of theirs and try to weave it together and present it in a legal context, which is what I always wanted to do when I went to law school. I wasn't going to be a practicing attorney. I was going to be an op-ed editor. So I get to do it right now with you. So that's the thing. So anyway, back to cheerleaders. Yeah, I just had to shout out to my people there because they've been putting in beast work.
Right. And you know what? I was mentioning this to somebody. This is the first time on YouTube that I really feel like that I'm doing something. I don't know if that's, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like what I'm doing matters, you know, because sometimes we're on here, we're talking about stuff, not to say it don't matter, but this could really help somebody get out of prison. So this is why I was really glued to this story, because I'm like, this can really help him. But I wanted to segue. Oh, and shout out to No Captivity by @𝐿𝐴ZY. I saw you in the chat. He was in the chat.
Yes.
I saw him here. Shout
and
out to
was putting on much work too. What's her name? Is it Lupac Baby? She was putting in mad work right now too.
Okay. All right. Shout out to her as well. Now, because like I said, because you spoke about the cheerleaders, the reason why I wanted to segue is because this was information that was brought up but never made it to court. And now Megan is speaking about it and she's making it seem like it's a joke. Like, oh, well, you know, and I'm sure you heard this, but let's listen to it.
Email.
I was on that live.
We kind of talked to.
Oh, you was on this?
Oh, we'll get to let's after this. Go ahead.
Brandon about it a little bit. He didn't go into too much detail because of his, and he just said like kids were disciplined, and that's
yeah. So the incident was that we had played Frisco Liberty that night and lost, and we should have beat them because they hadn't won a game in like 3 years. So, you know, the whole football team was frustrated and upset, and Austin and Hunter were physically upset even at the game. Like, they got in trouble from the coaches because, like, Austin threw his helmet. Hunter was the one who's kind of more of like he would get more upset about things. He went back out on the field and finished the game. Austin was like, I'm done. He was just, there was only like 2 minutes left and he was just pissed. He was just in one of those moods. But after the game was over, him and Hunter and I know for sure one other kid who was an offensive lineman went to Cane's to eat. And I'm going to be honest with you, the cheerleaders, I loved the girls. I wasn't a fan of the coach because as a coach myself, I was a volleyball coach for a long time. You want to encourage your kids to encourage the other teams and all those kind of things. And I felt like our cheerleaders just were like,
he is a cheer coach. She's a cheer
coach.
What's
the point?
Yeah.
They were just like, what's the point? This is, you know, our team's trash, this kind of thing. And the girls apparently were talking about the game and making comments about how crappy our team was. And Hunter, more than likely said something nasty to one of them because that's how he approaches things. And Austin just, when everyone was like, man, I don't understand why you guys got to be like that. Like, we're upset that we lost and this is how you're not even going to support us. So there was not like a physical altercation. It was more of verbal of like, you guys are assholes for not, you know, you're supposed to be Frisco Memorial supporters and you're acting like we're shit. and your cheerleaders on top of that. So fast forward to the email that was sent. From what I understand, the coach had talked to Austin and Hunter about just what happened on the field the night before, and then the coach had sent the email, and Coach Jackson, who was our head football coach, actually told them, if you have a problem, you need to go to the police, because it was off campus, and there was nothing he's going to do because it was off campus. So nothing came of it other than, yes, there was a talking to. And again, I go back to the original fact, Austin would never disrespect a girl per se. Hunter, he could have some choice words for someone who was going to be disrespecting him. I'm just going to be completely frank. That's just how he is. They were identical twins, but they were two completely different type of children. But the end result, nothing happened in that regard. And then I actually asked someone here recently, how it got leaked or whatever, how the email had gotten out to all these people or whatever. And someone had mentioned more than likely it was a mom.
All right. So the mother, to my, understanding that she just didn't take any responsibility and she deflected. But what she did tell us is that Hunter has an anger problem. Now, I did get that part.
We're gonna tear this down because this is a great springboard. I wrote down 8 bullet points just now about this and about Megan, who the other day was on my page threatening a lawsuit again. Well, okay, I said, y'all come on with it, because come with it. We got Jeff over here. Now I got Jeff, involved with fraud in his business practices, right? I mean, I try not to go there. I tried to warn him that I had that, and I said, look, guys, you're a real estate agent. I was the closing attorney, okay? And if I saw you bring some bullshit across my desk, I'm not having it, right? And you have no deal. And guess what happened in that case? He brought some bullshit out, then he had to settle a case involving people that the lawsuit alleged that they took unfair advantage under the Texas Consumer Practices Act, took advantage of a customer, and materially misrepresented the size lot of a home, the location of the pool, things of that nature. They did not get it dismissed. They settled it, and they did a voluntary dismissal, but they did not win it on the merits. Those are facts, Jeff. I don't care if you like it or not. Those are facts. I got more about you too. Keep coming. Right? We're sick of you and your mouth and your foul mouth with your niggas and your bitches. We're sick of it, dude. And I told you already, if you come to court with me, I'll make sure that one of my black lawyers cross-examines you, because they'll blow your head up. You hate the fact that a nigga might be smarter than you. I'll say it. Now let's get back to Megan. All right. These people. Anyway, and by the way, I did write Jeff a very personal letter, all right, in which I explained that one time I think I slipped up late at night and I wrote convicted of sexual assault, but I changed it because somebody came back and asked me, they showed it to me, and I was saying how people were saying that I'm disbarred, which was a lie, right? And they said, no, this is defamation. And they showed the screenshot, and I was like, well, wait a minute. In my mind, I'm thinking, I never did that, right? But I think what happened is, because they follow my every keystroke, the minute I put something up, they're on it, and they got a screenshot of it. Because I asked her, I said, would you please take me back to the original source so I can correct it? Because if you're here to advocate on behalf of Jeff Metcalf, I want to make sure that I don't say convicted. Of course, they even say it's not him. All right, I'm not even touching that right now, okay? But I did pull the police records, and there was a sexual assault noted on at that time period at his home address. I'm just saying.
Right.
Facts.
But you're not first. It's been a few other attorneys that did the same thing.
Hello, right? Exactly. I wanted to do it for myself, to see it for myself. All right. So anyway, there's that piece. But I wrote him a very, very heartfelt letter, and I said, dude, no matter how much we disagree about this, that, and the other, the bottom line is, and whether or not I think you're someone responsible, which he was, in my opinion. All right. You lost a child, man. And my parents lost my first sister. And I said, I can't imagine what that's like. I didn't have kids. I can't, like, losing a dog. If I had a dog killed in a bad kennel, that was bad enough. Right. And so I just told him, I said, brother to brother, man, that is something I wouldn't even want to put on my worst enemy. Right. But anyway, outside of that, can't stand him. Doesn't mean I committed actual malice defamation. Now get back to Megan. 8 points of light, right? Let me give you my first bush, 1,000 points of light. They took the handbook down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can't go. I have it though. I
I
posted
know
it.
somebody that got it. Oh.
Yeah, right. So it's posted on Scribed. If you go to my Scribe channel, it's there. All right. Let's go in no particular order. Okay, the team's upset. Well, of course we're upset when you're not doing well. And you're hypersensitive because there was those text messages from the coach who had said, their morale isn't good. The cheerleaders are on you. All that stuff is going on. But anyway, so they got this whole thing supports misogyny. Okay. And that's the thing, because sure, you're going to have folks who are Black who mistreat women. We know this. Okay. In every society, you will. But our culture is more matriarchal. And what the mother says goes. Now, you got to have a strong father. I mean, both my parents were strong, right? But we respect the queen of the house. And we respect my sister and, both my sisters. And so that's going to be what rules there. We're not going to let somebody dog our sisters. Right. And I have helped out white victims who have been, there's a woman in Seattle who was raped at a VW dealership, a friend of mine. And I went to bat for her, courtroom video, chasing this, making sure that this guy who did it was documented. Right. And so I will protect our women, regardless of what color they are. Right. And so what they're doing, what Megan's attitude does, is to victim shame and victim blame. And it has I'm not having it. There is just, and then she excuses it. She minimizes things by saying, there was just 2 minutes left. And he threw his helmet and there's just 2 minutes left. I don't care if there's 1 second left in the game. Show your sportsmanship, okay? Because I know about these things. I won the old board award in junior high, for tennis, which is sportsmanship, right? I played quarterback in tennis. Okay. And so if I did anything like that, my parents, the school wouldn't have to worry about nothing. My parents would be like, sorry, you have to find another player for the next month, or you're gonna have to find another backup quarterback, because Chris will be out. Right. And so like, if I ever, I'm a vintage guy, I love my vintage things. So, a couple of years ago, I found a Max Ply McEnroe, and this is what I played with for part of high school, right? And so I found one, I had to get it. But if I had ever thrown this racket, no.
Absolutely.
So
and that's why they act like that, because you have parents that just, it's nothing. It was just a couple minutes left, and girl, bye.
Yeah, right. And so, and I love that she also minimizes it by saying, there wasn't a physical conversation. There wasn't a physical confrontation. Oh, well, that's mighty white of them not to beat up women.
Right.
I mean, but remember there was the quote though, which was his bisexual hands. Hunter said he had bisexual hands.
Right.
Okay. What's that all about? And why didn't we get any of those witnesses up? Just like, we didn't get them up. Mike Campbell had sent that to him. And I'm waiting for trial. I'm telling everybody online, Mike Howard's going to do this. We're going to get these people up. We're going to investigate. We're going to have all of that stuff. He did none of it.
Nothing. And the subpoenas were unserved. Just this man needs to be in prison.
I think he should be in prison for criminal fraud. I hate to say it about a fellow dude, but how much money did you make, and how poorly did you perform intentionally? I love the fact that one of the videos I did about him, I mentioned his Yelp page is down, and it's like he's like, well, it's down temporarily. No, bro. Your Yelp page is down indefinitely.
Yeah, I think they were hitting those reviews.
Right. And one more thing about Megan, let's continue on. She and Jeff both lied. Yes, you both did, about them boys being under the tent before Carmelo got there. Well, we have the narrative. We have the lineal video that shows Carmelo was there. There was testimony at trial that put Carmelo there in the back middle of the tent. Slightly off to one side. Okay, toward the edge of the tent. Okay. So you're saying that your boys were there first is a lie.
Yeah, that's what they're saying now.
Right. But I got another question for you, Megan. during one of the world tours that you did to debunk the video, you stood there and said, or no, actually it was one of the twins, because I'm not sure who's who, right? I'm just putting that out there. The twin who was standing there being interviewed said, my mom answered my phone. Well, wait a minute. Your mom answered your phone. How does your mom answer your phone if you're not with her?
Right.
Okay, doesn't your mom have her own phone? Did your mom take your phone in for repairs that day?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Right, so that means your mom was there. I mean, is that a natural inference, or am I tripping, Lakeysha?
No, I mean, if your mother answered your phone, it seems like you were there with her. Because how would she get the phone?
Yeah. So if she's there, then why was she already there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there was also, I'm arguing with this woman right now because in my Facebook chat, right? And I said, because I haven't been able to track it to prove it definitively, that there was another issue that the parents were there for. Okay. Because I heard that there was stuff going on with Emerson, some kind of beef or something like that. And so in the records, in the arrest report, it mentions that basically a J blank was there. So Jeff was already there. So can you tell us what you know about that? And
wait a minute too, King Cass. Do you remember when they arrested Carmelo, they asked him, do you go to Emerson? Remember?
Right. Why would you assume that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what else do you know about
it? Now, I don't remember. Somebody else told me that they saw a video. I think it was Dwayne. I don't know. I don't remember. But they said they saw a video where Metcalf was saying he was there. So it's just like he could have been there because they were at the school.
Yeah. So I've requested all the 911s, right? And that's yet another thing I have to appeal, right? Because they didn't want to give it up. So that there's also, and we'll get back to that when we talk about the GoFundMe and the 3 things I'm looking for. Now, I guess it's 4 now because they shopped that off to the AG's office because I've heard, which I cannot substantiate, that there was a previous 911 call of some sort and that they were there because there was an issue between Emerson and Memorial students.
Right.
That's what I've heard. If anybody else has more information on that, you know how to hit me, or you can hit Lakeysha, she'll hit me. Let's find out.
Right. I've heard that same story, but I don't believe the mother and the father has ever owned that. Even in Megan's interview, like I'm not familiar with the Texas area, but she did say, I believe she work at like a pizza place or something like that? Yeah. Okay. So she mentioned the name of it. I don't remember. But wherever it was, she mentioned where she worked. But then she says, I got there before the ambulance. And when I was talking to somebody about it, they say, no, she's lying. She was at Emerson because there's no way that she could get from where she worked to that area that quick. And so I said, oh, okay. So the reason is because she was already there.
Yeah. And they'll never own anything. I mean, they just won't. And they think that they walk around like their poop don't, how can I say it, like their excrement is not odoriferous, right? Not having it.
Now, I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but I was able to gather this one, starting with this one. I think this was on your page.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Yes.
Let me read it. It's coming when they least expect it. String them up. You don't know how bad I want to. What does this mean?
Okay. Well, while I got you here real fast, I'll give you the background while I look for the actual video because I meant to download my version of the video, right? So while we get there, let me just grab my phone charger. I want to find that video because I can probably play it for you real fast. Let me just find it. Hold on.
Okay. Is it on your YouTube? Where is it at? Because I can.
Actually, I've not posted this yet. It's in my phone.
I got you. Okay.
But once I get it, it shouldn't take me but a minute to find it. We'll stay on schedule here. And once I
Okay.
find it, it's going to explain a lot as to why this is. And the person involved is actually a very experienced and seasoned paralegal in Texas. And her handle is My True Crime Addiction.
Right.
Okay.
Right. This one in there, there's another one too.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so we know each other. I actually shared the Airbnb.
Oh, okay. When you were in Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
yes, and we got to know each other very well, and she's trustworthy, great person, very diligent, very professional, sharp, tax sharp young lady. So, yeah, so she comes out of the court one day, and she's complaining about Jeff's demeanor, and this ties in with what you, because remember, you followed up. I wrote an email, easy for me to say. I wrote an email yesterday to my usual mailing list, which is all the newspapers, Toby Shook, Mike Howard, and 2 of the new Dream Team, right? And so, and the court. And I wrote an email discussing this issue. And then of how, because another person had notes that they showed from a notepad, like a regular notepad like this, right? They had notes where they talked about observing Jeff Metcalf doing what they perceived to be coaching. And so involved in that was how Jeff shifted seats. I think Tiffany Billions and two other black people were behind him initially on one of the second. I came for the second week. So what happened was one of the people said that move in some way made it easier for him to coach witnesses.
Ah, okay.
Now I wouldn't know because I never got in, so I couldn't see if.
Right. Let's just kind of say a little bit about what you're speaking to because they may not understand this. So if you guys don't know, there was a lady that she was on social media. She stated that Jeff Metcalf was bullying people out of their seats in the courtroom. Now, you go on TikTok, you will find her. But what King Cass is speaking to is he's saying that I guess allegedly Jeff was trying to find better seating so that he can be able to, coach the witnesses into what to say.
Well, it wasn't. I'm trying to figure out how it happened, but I think that the shift involved Jeff taking seats that were there for other people and his people, something like that. So I think they moved seats effectively. But like I said, I wasn't there, so can't describe exactly what happened. But I'm getting to the part now where this happens. I hope I can find it for you quickly. Just give it a second. It is kind of important.
Go ahead, take your time.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's coming up now. Here we go.
Grab the TikTok of this lady that was there, and she was saying he was bullying them.
Okay, great. I'll go on mute while I find mine.
All right, guys, give me a couple of seconds. And also, we talked about it over here. If you guys, you kind of noticed already, and I played the video in which Queen Sheba, and then I think it was Law and Crime or something like that. Both of those two actually saw what looked to be Jeff Metcalf pretty much telling the witnesses what to say. Now, earlier, somebody in my chat was like, oh no, he probably was just shaking his head if he didn't agree. The mannerism is in court. You can't be shaking your head at witnesses. Like that is, you will get put out of court. So you can't do that. But it was stated that Jeff had been doing that. My question was, okay, what's up with the judge? Now, what someone said that was actually in the court, and I said, I don't believe this is a good enough excuse because I feel like the judge needs to make sure that he is manning the court. That is the judge's court. But the person told me that the courtroom setup was a little different and that the judge was actually off to the side in which the judge would not have been able to see that. But to me, I don't feel it's not an excuse to me because I feel like the judge should still know what's going on in court. So no, Neek at Night didn't see it, but Queen Sheba and Law, I think it's Law and Crime. I don't think Neek at Night was one of those ones that saw it. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find a video. Okay, I found it. Y'all know TikTok never disappoints. Let me show y'all this video, because this is gonna give you guys a better
feel.
Yeah, let me bring it up. So this is the lady here.
Who? That's how this child came to be, is because his kids are bullies and want to see. And what did he do? He turned around and sat and did it to all of us inside the courtroom and laughed about it.
Oh my God.
Where do you think his kids learn to be bullies at? According to their environment. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. What you say?
Wow.
That family bullied her.
Well, they just rested the case, you said. Oh, damn. I wonder if they seen.
Both sides. She said both sides have rested. The jury.
King Cass, that looked like you over to the side. I don't know if that was you, but it did look like you. So that was the lady, guys. I just wanted to kind of show you what we were, talking about. That lady pretty much said that Jeff Metcalf was bullying them in court. So that is the lady there. So
I'm glad you found it. So yeah, that's true crime. So, okay. So here's what happens. She comes back and we go to dinner that night, and she contemporaneously wrote down what Jeff said, which was, it's coming when they least expect it. String them up. You know how bad I want to, right? So let's double down on that to give people a real flow for understanding how Jeff Metcalf thinks and acts. Do you have a link to the video I put up the other day, my summary video, which also has Miss Daisy in it, and I'm there with 𝐟𝐸𝐵? Do you have that one queued up?
I have that one. Give me a second.
Let's let people see the intro to that video so we have it. We want to make a complete record.
Give me a here. I do have the link that you sent. Give me a second. You sent with Miss Daisy. Let me bring it up. All right, I got it. Just give me a second.
Because, the rule of completeness requires, a complete, full exposition of the facts as we know them, right? Mike Howard, the rule of completeness, like showing the whole video.
Right.
That one.
Right. You're talking about Miss Daisy that was on 𝐟𝐸𝐵 channel. Yep, I got it right here.
Let's let people see the beginning of that video and they'll get a feel for how Jeff Metcalf approaches situations. And they say, we don't want to make this racial, but they watch him.
All right, give me a second.
Okay. It's near the very beginning.
Oh, the beginning. Okay.
Oh yeah. I play it again later, the full version with the part with Kayla, but the part we're looking for is right at the very beginning. I don't even want to replicate what he said about Kayla. I don't want that out there like that. It's just it's too ugly.
You know what? Wait a minute. Let me check something else, because I think you did send me the link.
Oh, I can send it to you in the chat now.
You know what?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I have it.
You got it now? Okay. Because I got it right here.
I just got to fast forward it because this is long. I got to fast forward it to that part.
Okay.
I think you gave it to me in here.
Well, actually, the very beginning, I mean, I would say just rock it from the very beginning, because that has Miss Daisy and her observations, right? And then it goes right into what Jeff Metcalf said.
Okay, let me click on it again.
Yeah,
I clicked.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, okay, I clicked on these entire
chat for everybody too. It's in the chat too.
Let me share it. Okay. I clicked on the full video. 𝐟𝐸𝐵 had those long videos.
I know.
All right, right here. So we're gonna crank this baby up.
Was the walking with intent, as if it was almost predator versus prey.
Nephew, it's your Uncle King Cast here. And I'm going to tell you, we all got your back. And it's common sense that when the government puts out patently altered videos, it's quite reasonable to assume that these photos are the real photos of what happened to you, isn't it? Yes, that's right. If for you haters, you're damn right. There's a GoFundMe, because I don't have this guy's money. So, yeah, got to work at it. We're going to be getting some things from the government on that GoFundMe. Derek Jackson's personnel file, the real video, and the autopsy of Austin Metcalf. And then I got to sue these Metcalfians who lied on me, threatened me, and trash me just like they trash everybody else who's in favor of open government and due process.
Fucking just somewhere where you belong. Fuck you, nigger fucking whore loving bitch. Kayla, you drunk bitch.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We may have to. Wait.
Now, Jeff Metcalf, you claim to Janina Warren that wasn't you with all the N-bombs, but I tend to doubt it the same way I tend to doubt that it wasn't you that was charged with sexual assault. In any event, do you drop those N-bombs to your so-called black friends who are seeking acceptance in the white community out there? I just want to know. Your black friends who are part of the Brady Bunch? Yeah, and I know you want to string us up, the people you disagree with, because you're kind of a bully, just like your sons, in my opinion. That's right. Now, when I was a corporate attorney out there in Collin County before, working with the city of Frisco, generating contracts, my mission was different. My mission today is to vocalize the fact that you will not destroy the Anthony family. They are a proud, responsible family, functional, not dysfunctional, as yours was, in my opinion. And on behalf of all functional families in this country and non-bigoted people in this country, I make this video. All right, that's cool. Yeah. I've had it up to here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to put this back on the screen. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you're saying this note that I have on the screen is, let me make sure I understand. The lady that complained that Jeff, she was from Law and Crime?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. True Crime. That's her handle on TikTok.
True Crime. Okay. See, I didn't know.
Yeah. My True Crime Addiction.
My True Crime Addiction. And this is her note.
Yes. Of what Jeff said.
Okay.
Contemporaneous.
Okay. And let me just read it again, guys. It's coming when they least expected it. String them up. You don't know how bad I want it. Who was this? I mean, who was this?
Anybody he hates, especially me. You can bet on that. Yeah, Tiffany, me, anybody he hates. They want to string us up. And I'm like, well, the funny thing is, the other day, somebody actually asked if this man, I heard it was on the panel of another area journalist or whatever, and they asked him, would he want to run for governor? Oh my God, that's a scary thought to me. But he said he couldn't because he's got too many skeletons. Well, you want to start suing folks, those skeletons are going to come out more than they already have. We already got the civil fraud case. What else is out there, Jeff?
There's another one. What about this one? It says someone is giving head signals. I think he been threatened. What does that say?
Yeah, threatened. Yeah, someone's giving head signals. I think he's been threatened. And then they're talking about the witness. He's looking to my left too much. So the witness, whoever was, looking to the person's left too much, which, it's fair inference that they're talking that Jeff is seated to the left of that person.
Okay. And this is the lady, the True Crime lady. These are her notes.
Oh, no. I don't know who wrote this one.
Okay. Not sure. Okay. Not sure who wrote that one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But wait a minute. Let me make sure. And what about, I might as well show this too, because I forwarded this to you, which like I said, I totally forgot about. This was just the email that I sent to Mike Howard on January 8th at about 6 something in the morning, based on what was reported that following day, which was, obviously he was shaking his head. And some lady says, oh, well, he was probably shaking his head because he didn't agree with the testimony. The line of questioning was the size of one of his sons. And the witness on the stand was giving, I don't know, obviously I wasn't there. I don't remember the exact questioning, but Jeff was shaking to tell the witness not to tell them his size, is what I got out of that particular situation. So it wasn't a situation where he disagreed with what he was saying. He was telling him what not to say. That's what I got from the two people that actually witnessed it.
Yeah, and so all of this goes back to, we're going to bridge now into the process. Again, easy for me to say, the practices, policies, and procedures over there at Collin County. All right, let's talk about it. So, Derek Jackson's personnel file. Derek Jackson was the previous public information officer. Mm-hmm. He has the same complexion as us. He at one point told me what the trial schedule is, and he explained to me in that email, Mr. King, you understand, this is not a substantive issue. It's not subject to the protective order. It's not subject to the gag order. Mm-hmm. Here's the trial schedule. Okay, public information. So I think, the first journalist to put it up. Do you know, Bayboy and them, it was all of a sudden, it was out like a flash. Kingcast, you done got that guy fired. I mean, excuse me, for publishing, what the? I don't cuss anymore, especially I get my license. I don't cuss anymore. All right, so all right, I don't care where to be going there. But so, what the heck are you talking about? Make it make sense. So now, and also, Bayboy was saying that what's his face, the sexual harassment settler number one, Greg Willis, our $1.75 million man, right? He allegedly was hella mad. Why are you hella mad? So the theory went that he wanted people to come not know, because the first few days are always preliminary, right? So the theory was that he wanted more people to come at the beginning, so they wouldn't be there for the whole, duration of the trial, and they would see less.
Okay.
I'm like, wait a minute. Every time I was getting ready for trial, I'm having a press release at the mosque, because the mosque used to hold my pressers back in Ohio, right? I'm holding a press release. I'm like, hey, everybody come out, right? I want people to see me in action. I want the public to know what I'm doing. Why would this prosecutor want less people there? Make it make sense. I'm here to shine. I'm here to show the world what a bad element Carmelo Anthony is. I want everybody to come in.
Right.
But, now, this is all alleged, but it doesn't make any sense. So that's the first part about Derek. So Derek disappears literally to the day that I post that. He's gone. I asked for his personnel file. They come back with a million excuses. And the excuses they use cite potential violence and this and that, right? And they cite to a case involving Cox. Mm-hmm. Cox wanted to get the governor's information. I forget their name at the time. Their travel schedule, all of this kind of stuff. Well, you can't give that out.
Right.
You could give out the past schedule in case somebody missed it, but you can't give out the governor's forward schedule, all their luncheon day, all this stuff. If they want to send out an invitation to a particular event, they'll do that. But you're not going to get all that. That's a dangerous situation. So that's the case that they're using to deny me. It's up in front of the Attorney General's office now. All right. Mm-hmm. And it's just insane. I know somewhere my paw prints are all over that because of what happened. But I didn't do anything wrong, and neither did Derek. That's what I'm saying. So here's what they do next. They bring in Steve Stoller. Who is Steve Stoller? Steve is a former media director in Plano. He's also a former Fox person. I'm almost positive of that. It's on his LinkedIn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who is Fox? Fox are the people that we know doctor the mugshots. They reported, they used the word murder in a headline.
Yeah.
Not charged with murder, but as in a murder occurred. Right. As a journalist, you guys can hate me all you want to. You cannot say that prior to a conviction.
Right.
You say homicide.
Right.
So they bring Stoller in, and Stoller, not just me, Stoller refused to talk to almost anybody. I never got another correspondence back from that courthouse after Steve Stoller came in. Not one.
Okay.
And they wouldn't even answer. I asked them, there's a rumor saying, oh, you can't bring pencils and pens and papers, right? Here's my Carmelo purple. They said, you can't bring that stuff in. And that was a rumor. So I wrote, and I just said, hey, you guys, could you at least, I know you're not trying to holler at me, but could you at least tell me, is that true or not? Nothing.
Huh.
So now, listen, I'm on a roll. So given that opacity, let's take it on over to the Sixth Amendment issue with the closed court, which is basically what Judge Roach did, right? So it wasn't It wasn't de jure, it was de facto closed, right? So what Mike Howard never did was he never offered up. We'll get to Batson in a minute. We didn't talk about Batson yet, but let's stay on this for a minute. What Mike Howard didn't do was to preserve his client's Sixth Amendment right to an open trial, because it's a Waller, the Waller versus or state versus I remember it was a Waller, Georgia. WALLER is the governing law on this on closed courts and what you do, right? So, when you close a court, there's a number of things you have to do. You have to have evidentiary, like you have to have a statements of fact and all that stuff, right? So, I've been shooting courtroom stuff back in the day with vintage rangefinders and stuff, right? That's right. I was always in the courts with cameras. All right. So, he can't the way he did that without a hearing. You have to have your facts and conclusions of law, if you will, as to why you're doing what you're doing. A Waller test. Now, I know the court was annoyed as hell with me because I would write the court. And I told him, I said, look, as an outside person, I think you need to do a jury view, which I've been involved with that once as an attorney and once as a journalist, where you take the jurors out to the bleachers, you show everybody where everybody was at that time. Right. But they don't want none of that, right? And especially because in the videos that we're seeing, I think there's less people in the videos than we're supposed to see. Because I see Mike Howard said there was like 20 people under the tent, but the video don't show that many people. And you see ghosting in the videos, guys. These are facts. I don't care how much you hate me or not. These are facts. That video, you can't see any of the backpacks behind the tent, behind the canopy. There's ghost figures walking around. Everybody with an umbrella. The umbrella looks like a damn pelican.
Yep.
And you just stop. Miss me with it.
Right.
Gosh. So yeah, we just covered a lot of ground there on openness, the court being relatively closed, the Sixth Amendment challenge, and that's because open courts tend to bring about a higher level of scrutiny to make sure that nothing improper happens. This could be on the part of the state, on the part of the defense, on the part of the court. Am I making sense yet, guys? You pick it up when you understand words coming out of my mouth yet?
Yeah, they're listening.
You want to go to bat?
Yes, guys. Yeah, we can. Make sure you guys are liking the video. You can continue to put your questions in the chat. We may have time later to answer some of them. Yeah, let's jump in. Another thing I would like for you to cover, because this is something that I learned, that if Mike Howard did not object to certain things, which people complain that he wasn't doing enough objections, that kind of becomes a problem at the appellate stage, because if he did not object to it, then there's not an appealable issue.
Right. Now, I'm going to send you a link. I'm glad you brought that up. Hold on.
And also, how does that, as it relates to his attorney, by people saying that he wasn't represented correctly anyway? So you had a poor attorney. Obviously, he didn't object to anything because he was just trash. So hopefully that can be used in terms of, the appeal.
It could come in a lot of ways. Let's watch the clip right now. I just sent you another link.
Okay, let me. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, give me a second. I gotta share it now.
No worries.
Is that it? That looks like it.
Am I vertical?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay.
Attorney telling you what he saw. He says there's malpractice all across the board, and baby, they already filed the appeal. So string them up.
The licensed attorney in Collin County says trial. What I see as an attorney, I saw what I believe to be malpractice. Number one, he allowed those students, young people, not professional people, to testify as to ultimate issues of fact, such as, was it murder or not? Yes. Was there provocation? Carmelo provoked him. That's not how it works. You have to make them eloquent as to what Carmelo did to allegedly provoke a situation. That's how it works. And when you don't object to it in the cases in chief, you cannot come back later post hoc and then ask the judge and complain about it in a jury charge. No expert witnesses produced. No use of force expert. No jury professional consultant was there. It needs to be an investigation. It's not right.
Appeal has officially been filed today. Carmelo get justice and see him getting a fair trial.
Now you've got an attorney.
All right. Let me remove this.
So that pretty much explains it, right? You know, the horses left the barn. It's down at the glue factory now, right? So that's a problem. And you know, there's a series of videos I did a couple of weeks ago with me out in the front yard, and I've got an old American Tourister suitcase, you know. I slow motion throw it across the yard, tossing the case. Yeah. These are problems. These are world-class problems right now. And I can't imagine. I can't put myself. I could never. These are a 1L would have done a better job. I'm serious.
Right. I want to play this video.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Anthony appealed.
So wait,
one of the things that I think might get
they called me the motor mouth in law school because I could run it, man. I ran it. Like I was first in my trial tactics class, like moot court runner up, you know, for the whole Midwest region of black law students. I'm motor mouth, and they hate it. So I'm on that trail though. Let me explain what happens evidentiarily with what Mike Howard didn't do. We got in these long discussions with a guy, Constitutional, and on TikTok. He is a master evidentiary guy for a big law firm. Okay. And what could happen here? So you got okay, right now you've got a motion for a new trial and a motion to recuse.
Right.
That's going to be heard by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. All right. Now, and then there's also later on there could be a habeas or an appeal, the formal appeal, all of that, right?
Right.
But
I got a question. Quick question before we get off into that. Now, when you say
okay.
I did find out that there's the motion for the new trial, can you tell me the motion for the new trial? What is that based on? Like, what is the reasoning behind? Well, I understand, but I'm just saying the legal professional words that were used to say he needs to get a new trial.
Okay, that's where I was going to go. I was going to segue right into that. So, motion for new trial, it could be something procedural, which is important, but even more importantly, something substantive that did or did not happen, right? So, most of the things we've talked about are observable, and they involve things that are like intrinsic to the case, right? In this box. Okay, we could readily observe them and see them at trial. But the question becomes, what about bringing in new evidence, which is typically more something you might do on an appeal or a habeas, right? But it's my contention, and then also within the motion for new trial, you could also, I think they could weave in the ineffective assistance.
Right.
So if they can weave that in, then you have to show the impact. You could have ineffective assistance with no impact, and it's like negligence in the air. It doesn't matter, right?
Right.
But so look at what could have happened. You know, you could have had this evidence about what was in the trash, since we never saw the alleged murder weapon, the actual one, right? Did it get carted away in the trash? Whose prints were on it? Whose DNA was on it? By the way, guys, don't think they can automatically get fingerprints on those. It's difficult, but there probably more likely be epithelial cells on them. All right, of more than one person, perhaps. All right, so there's that. So that evidence could have come in, and some of it, there's some degree of speculation, but some not, right? You could show the actual, all kinds of things that could have come out. You know, the fact that Mike Howard didn't he didn't drill the police down as I would expect to see in any case. There was not any really cross-examination of these cops at any major level, right? So that is something that wasn't brought up too. And I don't know if there would be any new evidence in that, but so it's got to be interesting to see with these motions, because we've been trying to get them and they're still logging them into the system. We've got people, we got boots on the ground trying to pull these arguments up for why. And so the two that I haven't mentioned right now, Robert, if you're online, another client, Robert, if you're online, go to YouTube Look for Lakeysha Keysha, Lakeysha. I'm on there right now. I'll call you back. Okay, gotta go. Oh, the glamorous life of an attorney. You never have a spare moment. So, okay, there's two things. Yeah, back on track. So we talked about some of those items just now in terms of new trial and hold on. Well, let's leave it at that. So I know there are three things I was kind of. Oh yeah, new trial, ineffective assistance, and the motion to recuse. The gentleman who's on your screen right now is definitely going to go towards the motion to recuse. We'll get there, and I'll prime this before you show it. So I put him up because he claims outright that Metcalf and Judge Roach knew each other.
Yeah,
I never said that. I never said that. I was very careful not to say that because the guy looks a hell of a lot like Judge Roach, but I put up one of my doppelganger posts, and I was like, damn, that dude, I said, that could be his brother. You know, it really could. So I don't know who he is or whatever, but again, this is one of the reasons why I'm waiting to get the actual filing, because certainly the investigative teams at these law firms that are in charge now, they will know whether or not that was Judge Roach.
Right.
I still maintain that I have no proof that it's him. That's my position.
King Cat, I think that it is. You know why? I went back and watched that video that the judge did, and he made it seem like it was AI. Why in the hell would Jeff Metcalf have a picture of that looks like him on his page as AI? This is not a picture that the people, that created. This is on Jeff Metcalf's page. So
okay, now so check it. Yeah, so oh god, one of my paralegals, Forensic Girl. I'm on Lakeysha right now. All right, YouTube, check it out. Hit you back. I've got my own law firm. Yeah, so I never heard the part where he said it was AI, but what I put up a post on TikTok a couple days ago about this, where it might have been yesterday, where I recorded him talking about how social media got it wrong and they're wrong. And he says, for example, I would know the Jeff Metcalf, if he walked down the street in front of me or whatever. So I'm like, well, wait a second. Why did you bring up that example? Why didn't you bring up the example of Daily Mail falsely stating that Hunter was holding Austin when he unalived? That's false as the day is long.
Right.
But you don't mention that. Okay.
Nope.
So I'm gonna call him on it, man. I mean, look, I have respect for the bench, but if you're doing something that I don't think is respectful, I'm going to say I don't think it was respectful. And then talking about the casing, I think the jury got it right. Like right after the verdict, when there's an appeal pending, I think that's inappropriate too.
Right. I was going to ask you about that. When asked, did the jury get it right? And he said yes. He's implying that, like, I don't know why he would say that. You know what I mean? He should have used different verbiage, because what he's implying is that Carmelo is guilty, is what he's implying. And
well, that was the finding, but right. Let's get
well, he could have said that. Well, the finding was, but he said that did the jury get it right? And he said yes.
Yeah, I think he's doing too much. And there was this other case I mentioned in the video yesterday where a jurist had gone well beyond what Judge Roach did. This jurist made I can't make this up. Okay, I moved to Texas in 2000 or late 99, right? Okay, and right when I got there was a horrible case. It was the Texas 7, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but these 7 guys, it's on I Almost Got Away with It. It's on Forensic Files. It's the Texas 7, and these guys they got out, they broke out, and this one caper. They got uniforms, dressed up like security, went to a sporting goods store and pretended to be security. And really, they took everybody hostage, and they were getting more weapons and money out of this, raid. And this poor, hapless young police officer shows up and gets ambushed. I mean, it was ugly. You may not know, my first job, I was an assistant state attorney. So I'm not a ACAB person, but I'm seeing too many of them be bad right now. All right. And so when I hear about a fallen officer who was not doing something wrong at the time, I'm pissed, right?
Right.
I'm also pissed when they disrespect us for no reason, right? So when I heard about that, I'm like, God, this poor guy, he's just trying to do his job. And he gets there and they gun him down. So anyway, one of those 7 is a Jewish guy. And the judge at his first trial was found to have made all kinds of anti-Semitic and all kinds of horrible, remarks about blacks, Jews, and stuff like that. And guess what? New trial. This was just this year. So I forget his name, but you can look it up. Texas 7 new trial. It's all there. And that was because of the post-trial actions of a jurist. So I'm not sure. Like I say, on the spectrum, Judge Roach did nowhere near what this judge did. No, so don't get it twisted. But my argument is that Judge Roach's other actions in totality bring him right within range of this other guy. Or might have been, right. So that's my point. So now I guess we're ready now for your clip.
Okay, I got one more question. Now, toward the end of that video, the one that we're speaking about, Judge Roach went on to say that the city, well, he didn't say this verbatim, but he pretty much said that Collins County needed to get over this case and that they needed to move on, essentially implying that he rushed it, which we saw him rush. What did you think about that?
Oh God, that's just incredible to say, I think, right? And by the way, what he should have said to the jury question was like, the jury has spoken and the matter is on appeal.
Right.
That's what you say. Okay. So now this is an interesting point you bring up about moving on and hustling. The trial was rushed. And part of that continuum that I just talked about was his charge to the jury, his unofficial charge, which was that get on with it. Are you going to be sequestered? You won't get to see your family, all of this stuff. It's like, what, dude, you're saying too much. Right.
Basically, if you don't get it, if you don't come back with a verdict, you will be in a hotel with no phone and no TV until you get it right.
Right. What is that all about? Right. So, so now this dovetails with these kind of arguments that I have with these people right online. And so, this one woman was saying, "Oh, if it goes up on appeal and he's still found guilty, will you leave it alone then? Will you be satisfied?" And I said, "Will you stop?" And I said, "No, we're going to exercise all of our constitutional liberties to go to do what we can do. And that means, guys, appeal to the Supreme Court of Texas and an appeal to SCOTUS." Right. So I'm trying to argue with this person and I'm saying, no, we're not done. And she was like trying to get at me for not being satisfied. I said, no, we're freemen now.
Right.
You can't just treat us like chattel, even though you do.
Right.
We have the right to follow all successive appeals in this country. Do you have a problem with that?
That's the real problem because, there's been a few cases where, I think the circumstances surrounding these other cases were different, but they didn't get 35 years.
Oh, that's the other thing, the sentencing of itself too. And then let's get back to Mike Howard, not having any witnesses, the people who came at the bond hearing to testify. I've also heard that the mother of the person who Carmelo saved from drowning, she was not called, but I think Mike Campbell, not guilty got boys had sent Mike Howard that information. That person wasn't called. What are we doing here?
Right. Yeah, and she said Mike Campbell said that he spoke to her and she would have came, but she was never contacted. So many things happened. Carmelo had no witnesses, and then I was listening to that podcast of that coach, and they were pretty much making fun of him, saying, "Oh, he didn't have anybody," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? How could that day when they were supposed to be called in advance because Mike Howard knew that he was going to be found guilty. So we were waiting, but even as an attorney, he knows that there is an outcome that he will be found guilty. Why didn't you have any of these people available to be there?
Exactly. All of it. Big roadmap to hell right there. Let me grab my computer charger. It's just right over here. But you can queue him up, I guess, and do that and I'll be right back. I'm just right over here.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna play this here. Now, this is an attorney on TikTok. Like I said, I just started following him. He has been given his insight as to Carmelo Anthony. Let me read this super chat really fast. Very nice investigative reporting. What if Mike Howard took bribes from state prosecutors to lose the case? AG Ken Paxton took bribes. Can the appellate court unseal all sealed records? So we don't know. I mean, if he took bribes, I mean, we really don't know. But in terms of the sealed records, at some point, you know, they're going to have to be unsealed because it's on appeal. But I don't know if it's going to be unsealed to the public. I can't answer that question. What do you think about that question, King Cass?
I'm not certain. You know, I think if a finding I think if a finding comes out of impropriety, I think it has to become open. Much like thinker still thinks, much like the 2018 admonition to Judge Roach for impropriety with the missus.
Right. Selling the books, yeah.
Right.
All right, let me read this one. The judge showed a clear line of bias and also violated the Texas Code of Judicial Conduct. Hey.
Yeah, Lupac, hey, I was listening to your show, getting ready for this one. How you doing?
All right, let's run it. I'm going to run this video.
Carmelo Anthony appeal. One of the things that I think might get some attention and that may warrant a new trial are just the issues surrounding the knife, the so-called murder weapon. I don't think it was murder, but we'll call it murder weapon because that's what the jury said, even though I disagree with the jury. Their verdicts may still get thrown out. But it was found and it wasn't locked. Like it's sort of a like 3/4 open, maybe, you know, a third of the way, half of the way. I don't think it was 3/4 of the way, but it was not fully open. And Carmelo Anthony supposedly nicked his hand. So that would tend to indicate that it was not like the premeditation that the prosecution argued. And that's very good evidence that it was just sort of, he was fumbling around and scared. And I'm really surprised this wasn't, I mean, I don't know how much it was fully, I would have talked a lot about it. I think it could have supported that, the manslaughter charge, which is what, I don't think he should have gotten anything, but I think the manslaughter charge would have been more appropriate, a lot lesser sentence. And that may be ultimately what gets a new trial or a reduction in the sentence. You know, he was under the age of 18 at the time, which is, so I think the 35 years was pretty harsh, quite frankly, given the fact that a lot of people that are similarly situated didn't get anywhere close to that amount. I think that's another major issue on appeal too. It's like, well, how are other people sentenced? It looks like it's racially motivated. Because these, you know, other people that are similarly situated that aren't black got a lot less time. So I think, and that goes back to the jury selection where there were only white jurors, and why would a judge let this happen? Judges have control over jury selection, even though the lawyers make the selections. The judges can ultimately intervene and have a duty to, because they're the referees in the courtroom. And I just think it creates, there's just a lot of things sort of swirling around, which is why I think there's like a totality of the circumstances approach is definitely going to benefit on appeal. We'll just have to see. It's a hot button case, but I do think there are a number of things that could be argued, but that knife issue is pretty significant, quite frankly.
What do you think about what he said?
A lot, actually. So I thought you were going to play a different clip from him. So real quick, he's the lawyer I was talking about who conclusively said that Judge Roach and that they knew each other. So maybe he knows something I don't. So
he did say that. He definitely that was him.
So I told the Metcalfians, I said, guess what? Since I never said it and he did, you can stop focusing on the Negro if you're so upset and go bark at him, because I've had it. Right.
Right.
So
you might know. You might know.
Well, listen,
He
that
definitely
dude, he said it with such certainty. I'm like, whoa, dude. For me, that's you got balls. Yeah, because
he said it.
you got balls. If you don't know that to say that, man, that woo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
see, the treatment is different now. Just don't you say it.
Yeah,
Just
right.
don't-
And that's why I didn't. Yeah. But so back to the knife and Batson. We're rounding everything out now. I think we've finally made a full lap, you know. So we come back to Batson now and the knife, the poker, whatever, the tool, right?
Right.
First of all, they never put it in his hand. No witness put that poker in his hand, and no witness clearly identified the moment of impact. Nobody did. I mean, so you could have. I mean, you never get a motion for a directed verdict, right? It just almost never happens. But I know Mike Howard did do that, but I don't think he file a motion for judgment notwithstanding. I don't think he did that, right?
What does that mean?
So after you get your ass beat, you ask the judge for to change the verdict, sua sponte, like from the bench.
Okay.
You say, Your Honor, they clearly didn't get it right, and you need to change. You need to avoid the. Basically, you're kind of voiding the jury verdict. All right. So
Okay.
Again, almost never happens. But if there was a case for it to happen, God, this was it.
This was it. I would agree.
Right, but again, the bus was left. The bus gone down. All the summer bus done run all the way down to Selma by now.
Right.
So, yeah, again. So then, whose poker was it? There was more than one poker. They don't bring the boat. It's like Casey Stengel. Who's up first?
Right. And that makes you wonder, because what murder case have you ever heard of that they never bring the murder? Like, that's weird. That doesn't. It's when I start seeing the video and you can't see what's going on, and then I said, I don't really know if his poker was the one that actually took that man out of here, that young kid out of here, because they're hiding a lot of information here, and that's not typical. If he did it, show us the video.
Right, show us clear video so I don't have to sue for it on behalf of the people, right? Because remember, folks, there's two different things going on here. Carmelo's lawyers are over here. We, the people, are over here. So they're going to have a right to get certain things over here. But we need to help establish the right for us to have them here.
Right.
Two different tracks.
Even with the video, they have another reason why it's so distorted, because they went and kind of blotted out their faces.
Part of it, but they didn't have to do all that. Trust me. I mean, I could do it right here. I could do stuff right here with my Final Cut Pro. No. It's all BS. Right. I mean, I shoot. I'm a videographer. Okay. Now, I haven't been doing as much of it lately when I used to do all the court videos and stuff, but I still know basic principles and how they could have done stuff without doing all that. Right. It's just crazy. And plus, everybody who's seen the video first said that it was clear. And then also, when you do the stage light thing, it's going to mute everything around you anyway. So that's another problem. But anyway, the whole thing, we could clearly see. So, the case I didn't talk about yet, and then we'll get to Batson. I mentioned it, and it's linked in the thing that you put up for us, our show today, okay? Now, Darrell Diamond Jones, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I had a radio show with a couple sisters on Touch FM. I don't know if they're still around, but we had this radio show. And as you can imagine, a lot of it centered on civil rights. So two things happened from this show. I meet this guy through his then girlfriend. They ended up getting married, but whatever. Her name is Joanna Marinova. She comes on the show. Boston Herald accused her of having sex with inmates. And I'm like, how'd that happen? Because the visiting room is an open foyer. And I'm like, how you can't even cop a feel there. Right. So how you all right. So maybe if you were invisible like them characters in this video, you could do it. Nobody would see you. Right. That was right. So anyway, we finished the show and I find out what all's going on. And I said, wow, you need to get a lawyer. I said, I do a lot of First Amendment stuff. You need to get one. And then she says, well, you know, I had gone down to talk to these lawyers. They didn't take my case. And I went back and I said, they didn't what? And I said, this is defamation all day long. So she goes, I said, we're going back down there. So we went back down there. And I went to the boardroom with her. And I said, get your evidence together and your files. Make me an extra set so I can study it. We got in there and I laid out all the files and all the things. Basically, they were retaliating against her for being a prison activist for people like Darrell Jones, which we'll get to in a second. So they shame this woman, say she's having sex with inmates, and that she got in there illegally with Gloria Fox, who was a state rep at the time, a sister, looks like us, right? They make up all these stories. And I'm like, you guys are all full of shit. So I said, go. And my radio show with her is still online. It's in my YouTube channel. If you just search Joanna Marinova or Touch FM, you'll see it in there. So we went back down there. Bottom line is they take her case now. 5 years go by. I run all the courtroom video whenever I'm in town because I think I had moved here by that time anyway. So I'm running the courtroom video. And 5 years later, jury verdict, $570,000 plus like another $350 in interest and attorney fees. They got him. Now, let's get to Darrell Jones himself, the underlying person for whom she was advocating. I go to work with his team of investigators and lawyers. And like I said, you can just go to my YouTube page and search Darrell Jones. You'll see a series of videos there. And Darrell Jones involved a young black man. He was like 18 at the time, 1985. He is convicted behind what? A doctored video. He is in prison for 32 years behind a doctored video. So what happened in his case was that the cops in Brockton, you know, they're dirty cops, you know, like Revere, Brockton, all these towns, and they're dirty as hell, right? So there was a drug guy, a coke dealer. He's supplying the cops, you know, quid pro quo. Well, the cops keep changing the price of admission to keep him safe, right? And so one day he says, to hell with you. I'm done paying your fare. Well, next thing you know, dude sprung up down in the dirt. It's near a bar where Darrell used to hang out. So he gets patsied. And he does this time. And guess what happens? My life is crazy. Guess what happens? The lawyer that he was with ends up getting disbarred for malpractice. Sound familiar? All right. I'm not saying Mike Howard's been disbarred, but I mean, good God, the video, the this, the that, the fake stories, right? So he comes out. So then, Lakeysha, it comes out, and I was investigating, finding the witness. There was a prostitute whose testimony got bleeped out, and this is back in the VHS days. Okay, it's a lot easier to tell. But anyway, so you go. We decided what firm to go. Shut up. We decided to go to this forensic team, and they do the video, right? And if you guys look, you'll see there's one of my videos. I'm in court.
Yeah, I saw that.
On the day that the forensic guy's supposed to come, and for the state, he doesn't show up. And I'm in the corner of the courtroom during recess. I'm like, the forensic guy's not showing up. Yeah, all right. So that's what happened. Now, so I think at this point, I got to assume that these lawyers have hired their own forensic people.
Right.
And they've gone through this video and actually done a proper job. And I think the shit's about to hit the fan.
Mike Howard didn't do shit. He didn't do nothing. I mean,
right. Yeah. So anyway, Darrell came out like 8 years ago. He's out. Came to visit me in Seattle for a week. Yeah, he got out, and then they retried him. There's video in there about the retrial too. And I chased the prosecutor down the hallway, and I'm like, hey man, what about that video? You're gonna go forward with this? I said, what if that video was crash edited? That'd be a major problem. That'd be a travesty of justice, wouldn't it? And he's like, no. And he runs down the hallway away from me. I'm like, thanks for the interview. Bye-bye.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
This history repeating.
Oh yeah, yeah. The video is, listen, tell me any black person that committed any crime that they have a video and they don't show it to you. When I saw that, I said, I don't know. I don't know what happened here.
But we do know. We do know. Wait, I got another one for you. Yeah, I got another one for you. All right, check this out. On my YouTube page again, run Jason Vassell. Jasson Vassell, Vassell. Another Massachusetts case. Young black kid, scholar, second generation Jamaican immigrant. Never a problem in his background. He's chilling at his dorm room. This is about 15 years ago. He's in his dorm room. These two angry, drunken white guys with criminal records, both of them. One of them involving misogynistic acts. They were messing with him. I think he had, white girl in his dorm room, and they were talking all kind of shit, right? They break the window frame of his window. He goes outside to investigate. They say they managed to get inside the building because somebody let him in. So he's out in the foyer trying to keep them from getting down the hallway to his place, right? So they meet here in the foyer, right?
Right.
And he's from work. He's got a box cutter with him, right?
Right.
Because he worked at a factory, something like that. So anyway, they get into it. And I had to sue to get the video for that. It was me, the ACLU, some other folks. They didn't want to release that video from the dorm, right? So we ended up getting it. And sure enough, you can see these two white guys attacking him. And then he's, he manages to slash one of them. Everybody stays alive, but he's facing all of a sudden 30 or 40 years and a huge fine. And one of those guys wasn't even charged. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And the one thing they did charge him with was something like trespass. So 2 years go by, and it was out in Western Mass. I lived in Boston. So a lot of times, when I would go to this case, I wouldn't drive or ride my motorcycle. I would just take the bus. Because that way, when I got back from running video, I could sit on the bus and edit the video on the way back to Boston. So that all went up, and there's about 8 videos for that case too. But the difference was, in that case, we had a lot. Western Mass is pretty white. And, we had a lot of white people coming out in droves who were just like, you need to quit, And we have some in this case too. But again, it being Collin County and being Texas, they are, I think, more apt to lynch the Negro.
Right.
Yeah. So that's yet another case that is just so similar to what we're seeing here. And that's just in my life. But granted, I mean, people seek me out for these kind of cases, right? Because of what I do. But throughout America, that these cases are going on everywhere. Some white folks get the shaft too, and I cover them. I'll help them too. But right now, we are not dealing with a white person. We are dealing with a black person in Frisco, Texas.
Frisco, Texas. Let me read a couple of these super chats. Luca, is it Lupac, baby? Thank you again for your super chat. Thank you, King Cass. Much respect to you and Lakeysha. Appreciate it. J Gray 575. In that pic with, I don't know what that little thing is. In that pic with Ann Metcalf, it's a table umbrella with the pub's name on it. I'm trying to figure out, what do you mean when you say in that pic with, and there's like I can't see what that is.
Roach. It's a roach.
Oh, in that pic with the roach. Okay.
Roach.
Oh, the roach. And Metcalf. Okay, I got it now. It's a table umbrella with the pub's name on it. I didn't think about that. If someone wanted to dig deeper, they could probably get proof they buddies. Oh, you see, y'all are too smart for me. I personally think Carmelo kicked one of them off him, and he thought his kick hurt them. Oh, really bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think that just from watching the picture and seeing them, that has to be evidence. Nobody is running to the garbage can and somebody is having an emergency. It was something going on with that garbage can. So I don't know.
It was either somebody. I mean, I got 3 guesses. It was drugs, somebody's phone, or a weapon.
Yep.
It ain't nothing else, right? And so remember, 2 people go to that trash can, and one of them is hunched over like he hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he said it's not alleged,
right. So if what Jay Gray is saying, if he said it's not alleged, I did it. Maybe he was talking about his kick, and because he didn't know. Because remember, later on, when he's walking with the cops later on, and he asked what happened, and so he's kind of sensing that something else has happened at that point, and because he asked the cop, and the cop turns to him and says, "Well, I don't know exactly what happened." I don't think Carmelo knew either.
You know, I said that after watching the video, because think about it. When I look at Carmelo, he has 0 street sense. That's okay. Everybody don't have street sense. I believe when they told him that, although him knowing, yeah, that's kind of crazy, he just went with it because this is what they said. But I really don't believe it. If you remember, Carmelo said, "Oh, he's going to be okay." No, he's going to be okay. I don't think. Yeah, I think he obviously there was some kind of interaction, but I think he probably thought after multiple people told him. But after watching that video, I just don't. I think something else happened. I really do. I think when I watched the video, because I watched it over and over again, I'm just trying to figure out how is Carmelo out of the tent and they're still fighting. I'm trying to figure out if they're really fighting him, then why are they not chasing him? So it seems like something occurred between them, and I think that at that time, maybe by mistake, that they got the wrong person.
I'm not going to bet against it. You can't, because he's gone and they're still going on, right? So while we're here, let's put the car in park now, okay? We still haven't got to Batson. We'll get there in a minute, but let's cover Miranda, okay? People are, you don't want to assume, and I heard the Not Guilty boys talking about this the other day. You don't want to assume that Miranda's got to automatically apply and all the world's going to be great. And because he wasn't Mirandized, this is all coming out. Doesn't work that way.
Right.
I did specific research on Miranda, all right? And because honestly, I'm going to think about it. I only dealt with Miranda in one case in Ohio. It was a 1983 case, and we ended up settling that, and we won the criminal jury trial. But the issue was this. Miranda, it's really a weird standard because on one level, Miranda is Miranda, period. Okay? You only get it if you're being custodially interrogated. Okay. Right. But then there's this other kind of sliding scale that's built into it. Like, well, what if you're an older person and you're infirm or you have a learning disability or maybe you're younger, like a student in high school, right? Then you should be much more willing to err on the side of caution and putting it out there for the suspect. Okay. And we both saw just now with Luigi, the prosecution's in trouble with Luigi right now over Miranda, right? They got that ass beat the brakes off that ass, right? So you know, right? So now with the student issue, again, the sliding scale would tend to favor like saying, hey, wait a minute, you're letting them run off at the mouth a little bit, even though we think that tape, the sequence of that tape was altered. I'm still just now getting into that. But you let them run off at the mouth a bit and you don't give them the Miranda, we know what you're doing. You're waiting for him to say something that you can use against him. And so, but that still doesn't mean that's going to come back automatically. And then what's so bizarre is that I looked at the things that Carmelo allegedly said, and I'm saying in my mind, well, none of those things are really inculpatory. They're all pretty much exculpatory things, but not always, not in the hands of a bigoted neighborhood or a crafty prosecutor, because everything you say can and will be used against you. Right? So I'm not so sure that Miranda would obtain. It's kind of I can't say that it would have worked or not. I really can't say.
Right.
You want to do we have questions in the chat, and by the way, I saw a question in the chat. Somebody said, if it was your son, would you turn him in? Drew Anthony unequivocally said, if my son, if I felt that he was truly guilty of this and that he did what he did with no reason or was involved, he said, I would turn him in.
Right.
He unequivocally said that, and I believe him.
Right. And I don't believe any of us, not even myself, feel like, so let me just give you an example. Let's say everything went fair and he got 35 years. I would have still felt like that would have been too much time. Let me just be honest, because I'm not a lawyer, by the way, but I feel like the sentences should be in line with similar, things that people have did that meet that certain criteria. But in this particular case, there were a bunch of things that happened. So I think people are upset. I don't even think we've gotten to the point where was it guilty or whatever. The entire process was just not fair. Like, it was not fair. I feel like even with the jury instructions, none of it was fair. So he didn't get a fair shot. So I don't think it's about whether or not he's guilty. If he said he did it, I think then he owned that he did it. But he also said that he felt like he needed to protect himself. When we see that.
Let me back you up. Let me back you way up on that, sister. Whoa. As a lawyer, I got to stop you right there.
Okay.
And I think we've already covered this away. First of all, if he said he did it, well, wait a minute. What did he do? Like we just covered a second ago. What did he do?
Right,
So what he did was maybe he kicked somebody. That's what he's thinking. Number one. Then number two, I forgot number two, but that's the main thing I wanted to say. Just because he said he did it, I mean, did what? Right. But he also said, it's not just about it's about the time. And I think we already both agree. It's not just about the time. It's about the ultimate conviction in and of itself.
But I think too, the issue with this particular case, because I've went back in my mind and say, I don't know, did he really do it? If he's going to claim self-defense, he would have to say he did it, because I'm not sure you can say it's self-defense. So I don't know what the lawyers will figure out. They may find more evidence, who knows? But I think in terms of him using the self-defense strategy, I mean, how could he say he didn't do it? You know what I mean?
Well, check it out.
We don't know what he told his lawyer either.
Right. Well, this is going to be, I mean, it's going to be wild if it turns out that he wasn't even the one that poked him. I don't know. It's like, it's possible. I can say anything's possible. Yeah. So somebody mentioned now in the chat that he collapsed. So maybe that's when he found out that Austin was in a bad way, and that's when he collapsed. It was, because at first he's just talking to the cop like, yeah, I'm Carmelo, blah, 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 right? And then later he collapses. And so we have to really get the real timeline, because we know they played with that, just like they played with the timeline in the video and showing to the jury. They played it out of order and all this, that, and the other. And Megan got up and tried to say that, again, her sons were there first, which is all a lie. And Jeff has said that too before. All lies, guys. Miss me with it. All right, we can finally come to Batson now.
Okay.
We've been waiting to get to Batson forever.
Right.
And my position on Batson is this. And those you don't know, let's go back and do the instruction. Okay. You got a jury pool. You got the jury that walks in. You got the general jury out here, right? The voting public. Then you bring them into the jury pool for your case. And from that pool, you're going to pick 12, criminal trial, you're going to pick 12 jurors and several alternates, depends on the case, right? So that final panel, plus the alternates, that's your petit jury. Like French, petite, petit, that's your small jury. Okay, that's good. Hear the case. All right. And the alternates are going to be right next to the regular ones. You may not know who they are, but they'll be in them with the other jurors. Okay. So you have two kinds of strikes. You have for cause strikes, and you have general peremptory strikes. Okay. So what's a for cause strike? Guy says, my wife just started cancer treatment and I'm going to be in a bad way. I can't focus on this. I got to go. Okay. You're gone. Right.
Right.
I have a hearing disability that even with a hearing aid, I can't hear that well. I really, I'm no good. Okay. You're gone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Now your peremptories is like, I don't like that guy. He's out. Right.
Right.
I don't like the way he looked at my client. He's out.
Okay.
Stuff like that. So in the peremptories, if you see this systemic repeat of striking black jurors, women, a certain class of people, a certain type of juror. If you see that happening, then you have the opportunity to put up what's called a Batson challenge. And it happens civil and criminal. Okay. I put one up myself. They almost always lose, unfortunately. But they exist for a reason. And some of you guys, if you do your legal research, go look up the Baldus study, Baldus. White dude out of Minnesota, I think he was. He died a couple years back. Did a study of timeline that happens from the time that cops see you on the street, and the fact that more black crime is visible on the street than what right. So you start there and you go up to what level you're charged with by the cops, what the prosecutor does with it, what the grand jury does with it, what the jury does with it, what the court does with it, and what happens post-sentencing. Like 7 or 8 steps. And every step of the way, you're going to find that the worst situation you want to be in is a black person doing something to a white person. And it's indefutable. Indefutable. I made that one up today. So it's irrefutable. So, and that case was applied to, I think, a case called McCleskey versus Kemp or something like that. But the Supreme Court said, well, we understand the Baldus study exists, and we're not saying it's not true, but we can't find it in this case, so it's moot. That's the Baldus study. So that's why we have Batson challenges. You can go to the court, you say, Your Honor, they're striking on these people because they're women. And we have a case, it involves a rape case. Women would be more sensitive to that. Although, by the way, I want you all to know, there's a thing called distancing. And that's sometimes where, like, as we see with these women who support what the twins did to these women, to these young women, this distancing means you put yourself out there and you say, oh my God, that could never happen to me. Therefore, she was asking for it. The dress was hiked up too much, whatever it is. Right. So just remember that too. So it's along the same lines as all skin folk ain't kinfolk. It's all, so you don't always want to make assumptions. So again, in this case, to my knowledge, they were striking educators, which to me, I always wanted teachers on my juries.
Yeah.
But okay, let's assume arguendo that they don't. Well, now we're going to start splitting hairs because I don't know if they said teachers or educators. But as I understand it, juror number 7 and another juror may have been educators.
Right.
So
and that's what you're saying, yeah.
Right. So then what you have is so the Batson challenge starts with whoever's trying to make the challenge. Then it flips the other side to show we had a legitimate, non-discriminatory rationale for that thing that we're excluding. Why we did that with those people. And there's no illegal motive behind it. Then it comes back to the initial party to say, no, that was pretextual. It's like full of dookie, right? And this is because you let other educators stay on the panel. So I don't know how all that panned out on the Batson challenge. These are typically heard behind chambers. I want to say, I'm trying to remember how I did my Batson challenges. I don't think the jury gets to hear them, but still it's in the record, right? So that's just going to be a whole nother issue as to how that was worked out. But yeah, so Batson is important, I think, but I think he's got enough on the merits.
Right. Right. And, the Judge Roach, he did speak about this in his interview as well. What did you think about his answer?
I forgot what he said. I only watched it once. What did he say?
He basically said that, he followed the law and there was nothing wrong with it. That's pretty much what he said. He pretty much followed the law as to the Batson challenge.
I'm not going to agree or disagree. I'm going to say this. I do think it may boil down to what their alleged rationale was as far as educators versus teachers.
Right.
Especially if there was another juror in addition to number 7. It's got to come down to that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, an educator and a teacher. Yeah, I agree, because I did hear that there were other jurors that were teachers, but they taught in different areas or something like that. So I don't know how they would classify that. You know what I mean? Because it almost looks like it's prejudice then, because these, it's not like they worked at the school. So these were teachers at another school. So it wouldn't have mattered, I don't think.
Yeah. And let's not forget the missing element in here in terms of power, right? Pat Fallon. Pat Fallon, state rep, congressman. Right. Well, his boys are football players and they go to Memorial. At least one of them.
No, that again, I think I heard that. Well, give me that name again.
Well, let me pull him up. Pat Fallon. Okay.
I think somebody sent me something like that, and I was like, "What is this?" Okay.
Yes. Okay. So he a high-powered dude now. Let's not get it twisted, right? And he, let's see. I'll just run a basic Google search, right? Pat Fallon, Jeff Metcalf. The name combinations reference the tragic 2025 fatal stabbing of 17-year-old student Austin Metcalf. Congressman Pat Fallon, Texas, officially commemorated Austin Metcalf in the congressional record and praised the murder of Austin Metcalf guilty verdict in 2026. Okay? And Jeff Metcalf has publicly stated, that he and Fallon are tight. Okay? So what kind of strings? It begs the question.
Right.
Did Pat Fallon pull some strings to make some funny things happen? Right? And did they further think that it was just going to get washed away because they had their patsy attorneys on the case? And they thought, Carmelo's going to get another patsy attorney on the appeal. We got this.
Yeah. And you know what? That's interesting that you brought that up, because I don't know if you heard this, but we know that Carmelo, soon as he was found guilty, was it the next day or a couple days later, they were sending him off to prison. And one of the things that we found that en route, they were stated, well, he was headed, this is what I heard. Now you can let me know if this is true or not, but they said he was headed to some prison that a Metcalf was awarded. Now, somehow, I don't know how they did it, but I was then told that he was diverted and he ended up somewhere else. So it's a lot of funny things happening here, that somebody is doing some things. So
yes.
It wouldn't be far-fetched that these people are involved.
Yeah, and to your point there, I can tell you that he was whisked away to really get where he got to in 24 hours as unheralded, right? They just mainlined that kid, right? So all of which just really infuriates me more with Mike Howard and Toby Shook. I want them based on what I know at this point, I want them brought up on criminal charge. I want them in prison.
I think they could. And that's why I love these lawyers that's coming out here that's spending their time. They're not getting paid. They're spending their time because they know that this kid was railroaded and that the people that was supposed to be representing him, they worked with the prosecution. There's no question about this. No question.
And if they didn't, you can't make this up. Toby Shook is a seasoned prosecutor, right? They know how to defend cases.
Right.
You can't make this up. So, oh my God, it just.
Right. And here's another thing too. I looked up Mike Howard, and when they were saying, he wasn't objecting to anything, I was one of them ones that's like, listen, they're saying he's a good attorney and he had, won best attorney or something like that. I said, well, I'm sure he has something that he's going to pull out at the end, and then to not even call anybody to the punishment phase. This is giving RICO to me. This is organized crime.
It feels like it to me too. That's my opinion.
Yep.
It's just bad.
Yeah,
and you know what? They had to bring in, not guilty boys are badass too, right? But they had to bring in the biggest guns for this. And they brought the biggest guns. They brought a howitzer up in there.
They did.
In terms of the connections these lawyers have and the weight, because they knew that that's what it's going to take.
That's what it's going to take. And you know what? every single time the Anthony family tried to set up these little crowdfunding and, for the attorney, they were getting it shut down. I don't know if I shared this with you. We started one on my platform. Do you know in one day we had raised almost $4,000? Do you know they got it shut down? They had my Stripe account put on hold. Yeah. The website down. So I had to tell people I told them they have to dispute it through their bank because they put the funds on hold and sent me a notice saying, oh, we have to keep it in there until November or something. I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So what they meant for bad, it really ended up being a blessing because they didn't get 1, 2, or 3. They got a total of 6 attorneys. That doesn't even include Ben Crump. So he definitely got a good team now.
Yeah, what is Ben's lawyer? The one who's her name is in it? Because she's what's her name is from Crump's office,
right? And well, I'm sure she's there too because he's going to do the civil side. So if she's there, she's able to collect the information, which is going to make it easier for when he comes through for his civil case.
Yeah, and what I'll tell you is it's all very interesting because I don't know why. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I have receipts because I did an interview with attorney William Sultan, who is my lawyer on another case. He's out of Wisconsin. He's the ACLU director out there.
Okay.
And we had wanted some supervision over this case, right?
Okay.
But for whatever reason, whoever was in charge of the family, it just didn't happen. And I'm not going to make any conjecture as to that. But if I tell you something happened, I have receipts.
Right.
And yeah, I swear, I mean, I'm so incensed that it all went down this way because if William and I or anybody else had been overseeing or behind seeing this process, it would never have turned out this way. And, I'm not trying to say I'm the next Perry Mason or I'm the next Johnny Cochran or I'm the next whoever, right? But I'm good enough to see what would have been seen to say, pump the brakes on this whole defense. This is bullshit.
Yeah. Total. Yeah, I'm with you on that, King Cass. They need to go to prison. Like, seriously, this is whew. I have no words. Gray 575. It's gotta be a bribery scam between Texas governor or Texas government and Texas judicial system. Don't they get free labor off the inmates? Ed and Carmelo. Who's Ed? Ed and Carmelo's. Who is Ed? I don't know what that means.
Inmates education. Maybe.
Okay, education and Carmelo's so young, they figure they get so many years of labor out of an innocent young Black dude. This is
everything is a money maker. Everything it's about money and contracts, and you got BlackRock owning these prison systems. It's all about the money. And there was a judge in Pennsylvania ordered to pay back $200 million for kickbacks for sending kids off to these prisons and juvenile facilities. Not always Black, but still predominantly, more. So it's always about the money. And I'm not going to get into the whole birth certificate issue. That's another talk. But
I remember that.
Yeah, that's a whole different talk. And no, I'm not sovereign. I'm just saying everything is securitized.
Right.
Yeah, that's why the whole mortgage fraud, the whole mortgage scam was because they were securitizing everything and separating the note from the mortgage. Don't tell me otherwise. I know.
Right. Yeah, I definitely remember that case.
Yeah, right. So I did that for years. Mortgage Movies Journal. So 2 of my blogs disappeared. Mortgage Movies Journal was on Blogger, and Chris King's First Amendment page. I started Chris King's First Amendment page in 2005, right? It disappeared about 4 years ago, and along with Mortgage Movies Journal, which I started in like 2010. So I would go, people would fly me around the country to go shoot videos in courts, usually about mortgages, and then write up a synopsis about what was going on. Because I ran a title company. I kind of know this stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm not I'm not like on the level of say like there are people out there doing this. Nia Laval is a good guy. There were Neil Garfield that was doing this, years ago. I'm not on their level, but I was like the video muscle that would expose the lawyers. I recorded this stuff in then all of a sudden when COVID hit, like later, all of a sudden then the cameras in the courtroom changed. And it's harder to make an impact and get in there with that camera. But I used to love getting in there with that camera, and boy, they hated it. I would sit there. I would go pick the biggest lens I could find.
I got somebody just sent me an email as we were sitting here, and they said Pat Fallon's kids are connected with the Metcalf kids on Instagram.
Y'all better hurry up. Y'all better, you hear me out there? Hurry. I mean, like now, because I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but yes, it's coming out now. But
something about that. I didn't know who because I don't live in Texas. So when they said Pat Fallon, I replied, I said, can you tell me who that is? But someone sent me this already, but I was trying to figure out what is the correlation because I don't live in Texas. So unless they tell me, I don't know who it is. But somebody
and that's what I was saying a few minutes ago, because they go that if you look them up, they're football players, and at least one of the sons is a football player at Memorial. He's not as big as the Metcalfs. He's not as big as the Metcalfs, be a football player. So what's this now? Like listen to this. Listen to this, right? You know what that sound is?
What is it?
You hear that sound? That's the sound of stuff being taken off the internet right now.
Right. I'm out of screenshots. Like I said, somebody sent me this, and I'm like, well, I said, could you kind of tell me what is this? But they did send me it was like Instagram, how you send them the Instagram page. And I was like, I don't know who this is. But now, since you mentioned it, okay, it makes sense.
There you go. Oh, Kick-Ass makes a lot of sense. They just hate it. They really do. You make a lot of sense. We all make a lot of sense, and they hate it.
They hate it.
They do. And you know what I say to them? Cry harder.
Right, because we ain't playing. We are not playing. We not stopping until Carmelo come home. And then when he come home, we still ain't stopping.
Right.
Because these people need to be held accountable.
Yep.
Definitely be held accountable. So how many times has this happened, though? I feel like Judge Roach, they need to start looking at his cases, because who knows what he's been doing.
Right. I know they're crazy to go on TMZ, but see, that's what running and gunning and doing that is like that's when you have something to say to cover up stuff. You get up and start blabbing your mouth off. And we just caught Mama Metcalf in a blatant lie about her sons being there first. Jeff said it too. You're gonna mess up when you start telling them lies.
Right.
Because it's like I had a thing to say because I got to get ready to go run my dog and do some stuff unless there's more questions. But my favorite saying is this: real truth does not require post hoc video.
Yep.
But there's the second part of that.
Right.
But post hoc video will often reveal real truth.
That's true. That's true. And one thing about a lie, once you start telling lies, you should just write them down, because you're going to forget, and then you're going to have to tell another lie, and then it's going to be like, wait a minute, now this is not making any sense. And this is what we're seeing happen with them. They're just saying everything, and it's just like, what?
Right, because I think the lifespan, the ability to retain the lie in your mind is finite. And then once you start weaving it in with the other lies, that shit expires. It's gone. And then you can't remember what you said on this day to that day. It just unravels.
It truly does. I'm going to put your links. I've been putting them in the chat here, guys. I have 𝐾𝐶, his YouTube, his TikTok, and his Facebook that I'm putting in the chat. So you guys make sure you follow 𝐾𝐶 on TikTok. He has a YouTube and his Facebook page. And thank you so much for coming on. We will definitely be doing this again, because the information will continue to come out. But it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for stopping by. We
For sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely hit the GoFundMe. And I just want to tell everybody, people come up with this grifter this and grifter that. Listen, I'm a purist. I've never monetized my social media. I mean, I may do that, but I don't even really want to do that until after this case is over. I'm a purist. But I need money because I got to maintain the legal databases for all this research. And I don't have time to really work to build my clients right now. I've got a couple I'm working with right now. But I wake up in the morning, my whole day is Carmelo.
Right.
And I don't have the war chest that Bledsoe and those guys have, and those law firms. I don't have that, man. So I just started practicing again, and I quit working 2 months ago to get ready. And I'm like, whoa, I'm in a lurch. So I gotta get the legal database. I may hire a paralegal to help out with these motions that I'm going to be filing to get the stuff that we need to get as the American public.
All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go and look at your. Let me get the link to the GoFundMe. I'm going to put it in the chat. Just give me a second.
Well, also there's actually a link to my Facebook post, which has the objectives in it, that has the GoFundMe link in it.
You said it's to your Facebook post?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in the Facebook post, the link I put in it is a link to the GoFundMe, but it also explains the objectives.
Do I have that link?
You're about to in just a minute.
Okay, gotcha. Got it. Okay. Cool beans.
Just a minute. I'm coming to it now as I'm scrolling through.
J Gray 575. That's why government in it. Free labor and contracts.
Yes.
For the super chat.
And plus, he's valued at more money because he's an athlete. He's valued at more money. Athlete. He's all those things, right? Come on. Oh, by the way, I want to talk about. I want to give you an update on Longview, because I talked to the city attorney, right?
On who?
Longview. This is where that Sammy girl was assaulted.
Okay.
Okay, here's the link to the post that has the explanation and everything in it right there, okay? The one ending in XC, the last one I say. So anyway, Sammy is this girl who was said to have been attacked by these black women. I think they're mostly black, could be Dominican, I don't know. The people of color. And they allegedly were chanting "Free Carmelo" while they were assaulting this person. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I did what I could do on the internet to find out what was going on with the whole character of this assault. Right. And as it turns out, these girls are all mean girls anyway. They're assholes. Okay. All right. Sue me for defamation, girls. I think you're assholes. And so they go around, and I guess this is not the only fight they've been in, to my understanding. That's my belief.
Right.
But in any event, okay. Well, if they did that, and if they find out that it was that way, then nail them.
Right.
Right. But what the police, so the city attorney sent me 2 days ago, and it's out of their hands now. But in one of my videos, I showed exactly what he sent me, and it said that the person was attacked, and they further believe that other information given led the officers to believe that it was a hate crime. Okay. So from this, we can't assume that it's going to be charged as a hate crime until it's investigated and found that it really happened that way. And if did the beating come into, we need to know all the facts, but that's all the facts I can give you. And that's straight from the city attorney, because we talked about it. So that's all I can tell you.
Right. Okay. So guys, so what I have to do, I'm going to put it in my chat because I can show this to them. But I mean, I'm going to put the link to KingCast GoFundMe in the chat. And this is the, it's on his Facebook page, but here's what it says. We are suing the city of Frisco ISD for 3 things. The original video shown at ISD premises for approximately 2 months. The autopsy or autopsies conducted on Austin Metcalf. The personnel file of Derek Jackson. The video.
I need to clear that up. Actually, I need to edit that because it's not just the city of Frisco. Some of these are county entities, right? So it's not just going to be the city of Frisco. It's going to be other entities, but the basic premise remains the same.
Okay. The video issue. Respondent has waived any defenses on this matter because it was already produced in a limited sense to people who could travel to the city to view it. If you guys recall, even a few people that I had on my show, they said they had saw the original video. Their declarations note that the video shown online as released on Friday, June 19th, 2026, does not comport with what they saw. So basically, what he's saying is people that saw this video that was released by the court, they're saying, no, that's not what we saw. The issue of the autopsy. Autopsies are known to be matter of public record. Excerpting photos and x-rays, we are not seeking any of those items. We further believe that there are 2 autopsies conducted. We are entitled to those. The personnel issue. We are also suing to obtain Derek Jackson personal file where Collin County refused to provide it and have appealed to the Attorney General. Their letter and my objection, they're here. So you just click on that link. Mr. Jackson's position as public information officer, abruptly, it ended right after he provided. Remember, King Cass talked about he gave him the trial schedule, a known public record aside from the gag order and protective orders. As Mr. Jackson expressly informed to King Cass via email, their defense cited Texas versus Cox, in which the state won a challenge to release all Governor Perry's personnel file and travel items. So if you guys would like to help, I put the GoFundMe in the chat. Otherwise, you can go right to his, somebody said the link to the GoFundMe don't work.
Oh, really? Did they get that one taken down?
Let me click on it. Let me just click on it. It worked.
Okay. All right. Phew. All right. So by the way, I cannot make those another form of imprisonment. If they can't get us one way, they'll get us another. But since I'm in Facebook jail until the 6th, I can't change the post. But I saw there's a typo in the Derek Jackson paragraph. I left a word out. And also, it's not just Frisco. Like I just said, I need to add other government entities. But I can't do that until the 6th of July. Then I'll be back in full effect until they find another way to put me in prison for another month.
Right. So, guys, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, maybe it's because I pasted in the chat, I'm going to put his Facebook in the chat. So you guys can go right to the Facebook and just click it, because I just clicked it. It worked. So it worked when I clicked it. I don't know what happened when I put it in the chat, but as you guys can see, I was able to click it and it did work. Now I wonder, let me just try something else. I can try this. Let me know if this works. I don't know. I'm going to put it in the chat again. And let me.
Yes, Cash App, King Cast 65.
King Cast 65.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the Cash App, guys, in the chat. So that's # King Cast 65.
So now you know how old I am.
Oh, we didn't know. You just told us, because 65 came in.
Oh my God! You know what's scary about that is that that to think about the fact that I'm almost, not quite actually 65. That's fucked up. I'm 61 years old. What the fuck happened here?
Oh gosh.
So you know what happened here? You know what happened here? I got lucky. And I'm fortunate because too many of our people didn't get here. So
right. And you don't look 65. So that's the thing. As long as you can, keep yourself up. You don't want to look too old, just keep, work out, do a little exercise, eat a little less, eat your vegetables.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So you guys, the Cash App, go to his Facebook page. I've even put the link to the GoFundMe. I did put it in the chat. Sometime the link may not work, but you have his Cash App, and I got it on the screen right there. # King Cast 65. And also you can go right to his Facebook page and donate via the GoFundMe, because I have it up here, but I don't know why, for whatever reason, it's not coming up, but it is right here. There it goes right there. And I'm going to donate too. I'll donate later on, but I will donate too. But thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, we will definitely do this again. I appreciate you because, you know, it's going to be some more stuff that's going to come out. And when Carmelo gets out, we got to find a way to celebrate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, got to find a way to celebrate. Well, thank you for coming on. We'll see you later.
Okay, guys, have a great afternoon.
You too. All right, guys. Make sure you are liking the video. We are going to get out of here soon. What are y'all saying in the chat? Somebody said it's not working. So, okay, let me show y'all something else because let me just click donate. It works. Let me just show y'all something. I'm going to share my screen because I don't know, maybe when I put it in the chat, it don't work. The GoFundMe works. It's right here. It definitely works. So what I'm going to have you all do is see, somebody just said it worked for me. If you're getting the link out of the chat, I don't know why it's not working, but I'm going to show you guys another way to get there. I'm going to show you another way to get there. Just give me a second. But you can literally go to his, wait a minute. I'm going to show you something else. So it is working, but the link is, give me a second. So if you go to this right here, I'm going to put this link in the chat. If you go to this link right here, I'm going to put in the chat. That link right there, if you go there, it should take you to the Facebook. So that link that I put in the chat, I'm actually going to put it in my browser right now. All right. So if you guys go to that link that I just put in the chat, and I'll put it in the description of the video. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm going to put it in the comments. I can put it right there. So if you guys go to that link that I put in the chat, this is what you're going to see right here. You'll see that right there. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go right here. You're going to click on, it says GoFundMe, support open government, and then you click on it. And there you go. So you should see, once you click on the link, then you guys should see this right here. And there's the GoFundMe. So just try the other link that I put in the chat. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Somebody said the link. Okay, gotcha. So the links don't work in the chat. So either go to his Facebook page, how I just showed you. If not, I'm going to put it in the, not the description of my video. I'm going to put it in the comment section. I feel like it's easier in the comment section because then y'all don't have to worry about like going through that long description. So right in the comments, I'll link this there so you guys can see it there. But if not, you definitely can go to his Facebook page. But y'all, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Make sure you're liking the video. And let me call out everybody who super chatted. Jay Gray, you done gave a few super chats, but that's the first one that you gave tonight. I appreciate the $9.99. Lupac Baby, $5. You gave a few too. Thank you. Lupac Baby gave another $5. Thank you again, Lupac Baby. Jay Gray, that's your second one because you gave one for $9.99 and you gave $49. Thank you so much. Jay Gray, you giving all the money tonight. You gave another one for $4.99. I appreciate you. Jay Gray came back again with another $4.99. I'm going to have to start a sponsorship board because Jay Gray is just giving all the money tonight. So I'm just going to say, Serrano, thank you for the $4.99. I appreciate you. Pisces, thank you for the 99-cent, girl. Or boy. I don't know if that's a girl or boy. Listen, Jay Gray, you done, I'm going to have to add this up. Because Jay Gray just done, he done gave it all tonight. Let's just see. Let's see. All right, let me see here. Jay Gray. J Gray again. So J Gray, how much did you give tonight? Because you just showing out. You showing all the way out up in here, but I appreciate it. I'm just gonna go and look. It's $4.99. And see, now my math ain't working, but I'm about to get it right. Give me a second. You know how these calculators work. If you hit the wrong thing, it messes up everything. Lupac, baby, $10 total. All right, let's see here. All right, $4.99. Got another $4.99. I'm gonna start a sponsorship board so it adds it all up. Y'all gotta give me some time. Okay, J Gray 575, $89.95. I appreciate all of y'all, all of your support. We are going to keep on this Carmelo Anthony thing, but I got some other cases that I'm gonna be talking about as well. One case involves a black man that he, shot some old white kids and one died. We're gonna be talking about that. Do y'all want to hear about Aaliyah Brown? Aaliyah Brown is she's 17 years old, but she suddenly came up missing at 7. Y'all probably heard the story, but I really want to get into that as well. And there's some more. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, I'm going to link King Cast GoFundMe in the chat. Now, it should link. If not, just copy and paste it. But if you guys haven't liked the video, make sure you guys do that. Once the video has ended, you guys can hype the video. I appreciate you all, and I will catch you guys in the next video or the next live. See y'all later.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. Go on. Yes, I'm typing it all down.
Kia, clear, spilling tea, no fear, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. I don't lives right here. Spilling tea, no fear. I'm still here. Da 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 da. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to Lakeysha Keysha, my dear. Yeah. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here.
Stretch words like
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. Make sure you subscribe to the Lakeysha